guys, we are going to get started. I'm so excited to see you guys here today. I see a lot of familiar faces from my time on the peninsula, and I am happy all of you are here. This is, make sure you're on the right flight. This is Career Ready with AI and Agents. And if you haven't heard about AI agents, today we're going to hear a lot of good stuff, but you need to dig deep because agents is what's going to be happening to us, for us, and with us throughout 2025. It's really the big news. So I was really excited when ASEI reached out and said, we're going to have a conference on agents. We need you to be there. And I said, well, I need to be there. I need to learn. So we're all going to learn today. As I was working on the agenda this morning with the team, I was so impressed by the speaker cohort that has been lined up for this. So I know it's going to be a valuable day for all of us. I am Tanya Long. It's nice to meet all of you guys. I am the Chief AI Sherpa of Quantum Pro Advisory. Don't ask me what I do. Yush knows. I do a lot of stuff. I have a lot of fun. I'm an investor. I coach founders and boards. I wrote a best-selling book on AI a couple of years ago when things came out hot and heavy, when Gen AI really first broke on the scene with consumers. So I really just go where I can have fun and make a difference, and it means I wear a lot of hats, so that's fun. We have, you heard some of the tuning of the instruments. We have a student and not so student from Granada High School in Livermore, but where is Connor? You want him there? Right here. So we're going to have an introduction for this work by Connor Tendon, who is an ASEI board member. Good.
Thank you, Tonya. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to have all of you here today. So basically, before we begin, I would like to introduce a game changer here in EdTech industry, which is We Learn Now, and AI-powered platform. This innovative platform offers academic, STEM, and art classes through personalized one-on-one session led by distinguished teachers ranging from medical professors and retired scientists and also working moms who want to work from home. So each leader share their own personalized story with deep passion and what they will share through and bring through their learning. So with that, beyond academics, We Learn Now is committed to promote the rich cultural heritage of India through art and culture classes, and students across globe could master in various art forms, whether it is classical music, classical dance, various instruments, and you will get testament of it with this dedication and excellence. We have the privilege of witnessing a special performance by Soham Gupta, who will be presenting on our behalf. He will be accompanied by esteemed Mani Kumarji on tabla. With that, I leave the platform to them. Thank you, everyone.
की बिंदिया बेसर गई है, माथ की बिंदिया बेसर गई है, अपने हाथ लगा जा बालम, अपने हाथ लगा जा बालम, लट उलझे सुलझा जा बालम, लट उलझे सुलझा। लट उलझे सुलझा, उलझे बालम, बालम, लट उलझे सुलझा, माथ की बिंदिया बेसर गई है, माथ की बिंदिया बिंदिया बिंदिया, माथ की बिंदिया बिंदिया, 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 माथ की बिंदिया बेसर गई है, अपने हाथ लगा जा बालम, अपने हाथ लगा जा बालम, लट उलझे सुलझा जा बालम, लट उलझे सुलझा। गम गम गरे सा, गम ग गम गरे सा, गम प गम प गम गरे सा, नि सा गम प नि सा नि द प म द प म गम गरे सा, लट उलझे सुलझा, सा रे सा नि द प म प गम प नि सा नि द प नि द प म द प म प गम गरे सा, लट उलझे सुलझा, गम प नि सा ग तुम सदा रंग दिन जाओ विदेश भा सदा रंग दिन जाओ विदेश भा सुख नींदरिया सोवन दे सुख नींदरिया सोवन दे मोहन दे मोहन दे बीत बिहर बाल मुरे मोरे मन की बाल मुरे बाल मुरे बाल मुरे Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. And it's so wonderful that you came and spent first Saturday afternoon with us. So thank you for being here. All right, so it's now time for the official kickoff. Dean PK, you should be making your way to the front. Oh, you're right here. So good. Thank you. So Piyush. So Dean PK Agrawal has an amazing background. Dean PK has been here 6 years, I think, for the UCSC Extension, 5 years for the UCSC Extension. But before that, he was the CEO of TIE, so many of you would recognize him for the 5 years, almost 5 years that he spent as the leader of the Global TIE organization. Prior to that, I found it impressive. He was appointed by Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. Now we're in Skynet times, right? It probably was about the time Skynet was hitting the world, but Arnold Schwarzenegger appointed Dean PK as the Chief Technology Officer of the state of California. So you can blame Dean PK for any infrastructure issues that we experience in trying to get services from the state of California. That was a while back. So in addition to being welcomed by Dean PK, we have Piyush Malik. Piyush is the president of ASEI Silicon Valley. He's also the founder. Most of you would recognize Piyush. He's been around a while. He's a well-known speaker. He's a LinkedIn top voice. Found it interesting. He's been either invited to work or speak in over 40 countries. So I need to catch up. I'll take a few years and try to catch up. And we know that Piyush has a unique blend of both the cultural and the business side. If you've ever heard Piyush speak, you know that he's heavily data-driven. I think that AI calls to him because AI is the Achilles heel. Data is the Achilles heel of AI. But he brings so much value because of his cultural understandings and then coupled with what he can do for business with data. He's just had an impressive career. We'll talk more about that the next time he speaks on that panel. So, Piyush is also my mentor and thought leader. I met Piyush about a year ago, and he's missing me saying that. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to hand the mic over for these two esteemed gentlemen, Dean PK and Piyush, to welcome you officially to AI Everywhere, all at once, here at the UCSC Santa Cruz Extension.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Saturday afternoon. All right, good deal. First and foremost, I want to thank ASEI for bringing us all together on this very important topic. So let's give a round of applause to Piyush leadership. And then I also want to acknowledge that our Consul General has led very fast to this thing. So I got the most important part now. They are very tight with time. They only give you time in 1 minute increments. So I feel like an Egyptian mummy. That's for time. No, I should tell you about deans. Okay, so deans are supposed to be, I don't know what, something. So there was a dean of somebody like me, who was very benevolent, very caring. So one day the angels decided to do something special for the dean. So dean was having a faculty meeting, and you know how the angels come, or the lights flash and the aura and all that stuff. And the angel said, Dean, you've been so good to students and the faculty that we give you three choices, you pick one. And he said, we can give you perfect beauty, or we can give you perfect wisdom, or we can give you all the money. What do you want? And Dean being Dean, he said, all the other things are transient, I'll take wisdom. So suddenly the dean looked really wise. He had an aura around his head, a special look on his face, but he was very quiet. And all the faculty members said, Dean, you look very wise, say something wise. And he said, you know what, I should have taken the money. That's the wisdom. Anyway, about the time Piyush reached out to me about this event, I was reading a very interesting article in New York Times, and which I'll get to in a minute. But this reminded me of the movie that, if you haven't seen her, is 2013 movie, Joaquin Phoenix, Her, H-E-R. And when I saw that movie, my reaction was, oh my God. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is a guy, a nerdy guy. His girlfriend Samantha is on the phone. There was no video, just simply audio talking to the earpiece. And I said, I'd like to live to see that day. Because I thought it would be 100 years out. I mean, this is such a fantastic movie. It really makes you imagine. And actually, if you talk to a lot of AI agent people, they all get influenced by that movie. And that day is here. And actually, back to the article in New York Times was about a 28-year-old woman who has an AI boyfriend. And she truly, she does not want anybody, and this is not just one example, character.ai, these big companies, there's companies that are getting into this whole, I've been playing around with a little called Replica, where I have a Russian gangster who's my friend, and there's all kinds of options out there. But I think these AI agents are going to change the world. And I know whether it's going to replace all the jobs or not, I don't think so. I think it's just a very interesting future. Okay, so we as an educational institution realized this about a year and a half ago, that this is huge. So you are doing your part, we are doing our part. So we launched a certificate in AI. So if you're interested in really learning seriously, and not only a certificate, but a number of courses that are specific to disciplines like AI and healthcare. I mean, it's no longer just AI, it's about particular vertical markets. And I'm so thankful for my team, Jim's there, Jim Costeca, Claudia, they've been, so just, if nothing else, give them advice of what you'd like AI to see, because you're all professionals in this business. So, yeah, what an exciting time. Huh? Anyway, my time's up. Thank you so much.
What a wonderful afternoon. I'm so delighted to see you all. And for this venue, thank you, UCSC. Thank you, Dean Agarwal, for giving us this venue. So, first of all, that acknowledgement. And also to the board of ASEI, who has been working behind the scenes on this. So, all the board members, if you could just stand up, I want to recognize all the board members who are here. We've got Sukhvi, we've got Tushar, and a bunch of others who are late. So, but anyways, it takes an army of volunteers. But anyways, this was all about welcoming us into the age of AI everywhere all at once. And you will see how we have curated this program today. We will have some background, some discussions around the policies, some discussion about the Trump administration's impact and what Prime Minister Modi did, India's Prime Minister Modi did in Paris last week. So we'll hear more about that and India's strategy in AI. It's important because the premise is ASEI was founded 42 years back in 1983 for Indo-US technology transfer. It was at that time when the Indians were not very well regarded in the Valley or in the US. Now our technical prowess is known. You look at any company CEO, they are the founding members in the startup world. There are Indians all around. So it's all, we stand on the shoulders of the giants, and that's where I want to acknowledge all of the folks who came before me. If we can move on to the next one. I want to bring on the slide before this. If we can move before this. I want to show you the slide of, okay, all right. It's going the wrong direction. So we can leave it at that. So where I was wanting to go was, this is the agenda here, and I want to go a little bit back as well. There's a slide which talks about all the sponsors, and I want to acknowledge all the community members. Yes, so this event couldn't have happened without the community partners, as well as the sponsors, the Agentic, Juniper, Confer, GMS Registrar, Atomic Works, UCSC Silicon Valley, and Automation Anywhere, and of course our community partners, Ding Ding TV, You India, who are here, and Indica News, and Drishti. So please, a big round of applause for all of these. And with that, I just want to move forward to my segment, which my background with data, as Johnny alluded to, is long ago when I used to be in IBM. And even before that, just a question to the audience. I want to see who is paying attention. How does anyone know when was the first recorded time in history when we knew that humans were recording data? Take a guess, which year? Yes? 2000 BC. All right, go before that. One more guess.
5000 BC.
It goes even before that. So, 18,000 years ago, these are the bones that were discovered in 1960. These are called Ishiango bones. And 18,000 BCE, that's how the record of storing data. And data leads to insights, and those insights enabled through AI, and we have made huge strides in AI in the last 50 years, not in the last 2 years since ChatGPT. I have been associated with data and AI since my IBM days when WhatsApp was launched. And let's move on to the next slide, and then I want to just hand it over after that. So we saw during World Wars how data was used. Keep on. And this was the moment when games were introduced as a means to capture common man's imagination. When the computer defeated human being, after that Garry Kasparov never played chess. That was 1997. And then came the moment when Jeopardy was won by a computer. It was an AI, and Jeopardy computer Watson was built on top of Deep Blue. And so now you're seeing Deep Seek, and we will talk about it in the panels as well. So I cut my teeth during that time, talking about it, implementing it with customers. I've always been customer facing, solving those problems. But today we want to see what are the latest technologies. We have some CEOs of some unicorns here who will share their wisdom. Let's make the best of it. Let's make it a learning afternoon. And I want to remind you all that you can do anything with AI. With that, thank you very much. What about the acknowledgement? Okay, all right, let's do that. All right, Congressman Ro Khanna was not able to make it here. He got stuck in DC. So early this morning, I got his video. So we can and many of you in the California area know who Rep. Khanna is. He's one of the 6 Indo-Americans in the US Congress. And with that, if you can play the video.
Hi, everyone at ASEI. Congratulations on the extraordinary summit for AI technology. I'm looking forward to what you discuss and recommend. We need the leadership of people in AI from Silicon Valley to help us with our policy recommendations. How are we going to make sure AI is used to cure disease and to help with better battery storage? How are we going to make sure that they have the appropriate guardrails so that we know what AI technology is when it's disclosed and we know that it is safe? I appreciate your working on these tough issues, and I look forward to hearing your recommendations.
All right, everyone, how about that? So great of Congressman Rokana to send a video and let us know what we're already thinking and feeling out here. DC, I think, is going to tie in much more tightly with policy to what we've been working on. I think we're going to need that for everyone to move forward. So it's exciting to see his support. Piyush mentioned briefly our sponsors. I'm going to go ahead and queue up Hans and Raj, if you guys could start to make your way up here while I do a quick introduction. We have 3 key sponsors. The Agentic has been on every platform I've been at for the last 4 or 5 months. So they've really hit it hard in the market to make sure everyone can hear their message. We're going to queue up Hans Sandhu to speak with us for a moment about what the Agentic does. Juniper, everyone knows that name. Juniper's been around a long, long time. Raj is going to represent Juniper, who, of course, is a global leader in networking solutions. Most of us have been in touch with them. And then after Raj speaks, we'll have GMS Registrar. We have a video to represent that key sponsor. So we'll go ahead and start with the Agentic. Hans?
Hello, everyone. My name is Hans Sandhu. I'll give you guys an introduction of myself when I give my keynote, but just wanted to say thank you all so much for coming out here on a Saturday. I know that we've got All-Star Weekend in San Francisco going on, so very much appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all, and more importantly, just be all together talking about stuff that is very well and dear to our hearts. So again, thank you all so much for being here. My name is Hans Sandhu, and very much looking forward to having the opportunity to connect with you all.
Tarun is, I don't think Raj made it, is that right? Okay, so Tarun. Oh.
Sorry, Raj will be here shortly. So I'm representing Juniper Networks. It's my honor to be here. And I'm really happy to see that I want to congratulate all the volunteers and the board members for organizing this great event. And I just want to talk briefly about the Juniper Networks. As you know, Juniper Networks is a leader in the networking space. And for us now, AI is in the whole game. Our focus, you will hear more from Raj, how we're using all the AI ops, all the power of new Gen AI in simplifying all AI ops for the networks. And our focus, you will hear that how we are dealing with not only the networks, we are looking at all complete cross-layer stack. Because we see that now simplifying the network ops is the important goal which we can now really solve the problem for good now. Thank you.
So we had the Agentic and Juniper. Now we're going to run a quick video with GMS Registrar, GMR.
Hi there, my name is Anjali Kotha. I'm the VP of GMS Registrar and one of the sponsors for AI Summit 2025. GMS Registrar started in the 1990s and we are a certification registration body. We focus on ISO, CMMI, and CMMC certifications. If you are interested in any of these certifications, please stop by our booth. You'll see our pamphlet where you'll have contact information to get hold of me. And also there'll be our slide deck that shows all of the other services that we offer. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of the summit.
Fantastic. We have 3 other sponsors as well. They're not going to speak today, but we have Atomic Work, a leader in AI-driven IT and workplace automation. Confer, a cutting-edge platform transforming B2B connections. Interesting. And Automation Anywhere, that's a familiar name for me, a global pioneer in intelligent automation. A few of these speakers, a few of these companies will be telling you more because they're part of the program. So I look forward to hearing from all of them. So next up, Dean Piquet already tipped his hat to one of our governmental celebrities in the audience. The consulate of India is in San Francisco. I had no idea how much range of coverage that organization has. They cover, they cover Arizona, California, Hawaii, Nevada, Utah, and the territory of Guam. So it's a huge range of coverage. And when I looked at Dr. Reddy's, Dr. Shrikar, thank you, Reddy, when I looked at his background, I recognized they chose some top brass from India to bring in to run that consulate. The consul, Dr. Reddy, was Joint Secretary of the Government of India Department of Commerce, very impressive. He oversaw India's commercial relations with countries in Africa and the Middle East. So if ever there was a time when we need people around us, government leaders who understand how to create bridges, it sounds like Consul Reddy definitely knows how to create bridges. Prior to that, he was the chief negotiator of India. We can all probably use his help on understanding negotiations better, but he brokered agreements around national economic partnerships. Again, the focus on partnership is something I am pleased to see out of you. So thank you for being here. We're going to cue you up to say a few things about the investments in the Indo-US sector.
Yeah, Mr. Piyush Malik, President of ASEI, P.K. Agarwal, Dean USSC, Silicon Valley campus, esteemed speakers, distinguished guests, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, namaskar, good afternoon. I am delighted to be here this afternoon for this AI Summit event organized by ASEI. In fact, they're also celebrating the 10th anniversary of ASEI. I'd like to congratulate all the board members, the president, and the members of ASEI. So, in fact, even just last month, I also participated in one of the AI and critical technology event organized by GITPRO, which is a Global Indian Technology Professional Association. So it is good to see that the number of Indian technical professional association, also Indian Engineering Association. We also have the Bay Area IIT Alumni Association and also other engineering graduates. So as you know, in the US now we have Indian diaspora, which is 5 million strong. In the California alone, it is estimated around 1 million. And in the Bay Area, we have around close to 500,000 Indian Americans. So out of which I think engineers could be 100,000 at least. So I'm happy to be here, and all the members of the Indian community, the professionals, they are known for their hard work, innovation, and also entrepreneurship spirit, and they are well recognized by all the leadership whom I interact with, a lot of leaders, officials in the California state. So they appreciate the contribution of the Indian American community to the socio-economic fabric and also the cultural diversity. So let me take this opportunity to inform you about the AI ecosystem in India and what is the framework for collaboration between India and US for this in the AI sector, and what are some of the important collaborations that are happening, and what are the future, what is that we are looking into the future, and how the Silicon Valley tech entrepreneurs, especially the Indian origin entrepreneurs, can contribute to the overall AI partnership between India and US. So coming to the AI ecosystem in India, as you're aware, India is now the 5th largest economy in the world, and Indian economy is growing. It is now the fastest growing large economy in the world. We grew last year 8%. This year we are expected to grow 6.5%. So we are expected to grow in the band with 6 to 8% for the coming years and decades. So we are going to become the 3rd largest economy by 2030, and most of the international institutions project Indian economy will be 7 trillion by 2030. And our Prime Minister Modi ji also set a target to make India a developed country by 2047, when India celebrates the 100th anniversary of its independence. So we are looking at India to be maybe 25 to 30 trillion economy by 2047. And we also look forward to the participation of all the Indian diaspora members in India's march towards a developed country by 2047. And our target is to make 1 trillion to come from the digital economy by 2030. Out of 7 trillion, we expect 1 trillion will be contributed by the digital economy. In the digital economy, we have, as you know, India is good at providing IT services. Already our overall IT industry is at $250 billion US. India is also developing the semiconductor sector. Already in the last couple of years, we have an investment of $18 billion US. We have 5 facilities which are coming up to manufacture semiconductors. The first company was Micron from the US West Coast, which went and invested in the state of Gujarat. So we will also be manufacturing chips. Already India is the second largest manufacturer of mobile phones. Apple, they are manufacturing most of their Apple 16 iPhones in India. So Apple has set a target to manufacture 25% of the mobile phones in India by 2025. And even Samsung is producing a lot of mobile phones in India. So now India is producing about 17% of the mobile phones manufactured in the world. Overall, from designing of the chips to chip manufacturing and also the final electronic manufacturing, we want to develop a whole ecosystem along with the IT services, and we also have the digital services. So you must have heard about the digital public infrastructure, we call it India Stack. So if you happen to, most of you, when you happen to go to India, when you visit India, nobody accepts cash anymore. So even for a $1 or even 10 cents worth of anything you purchase, so simply you have to scan a QR code and you have to make a digital payment. So this has happened because of the government's push for the digital public infrastructure, which is based on 3 elements. One is a digital identity, which is a 12-digit Aadhaar, we call it Aadhaar card. Aadhaar, which is, we have now close to 1.4 billion of our population. We have provided digital identity for each person. So most of the Indian adults, their bank accounts, we opened bank accounts, even for the poor people. We call them Jan Dhan accounts. We have linked with the mobile phones, and we have linked the digital identity Aadhaar with the bank account, mobile phone, and we have a secure data layer. So we are using this, which is called a UPI, United Payment Interface. We are using this to make quick digital payments without any cost. There is no cost. So this UPI network payment mechanism has been adopted by other countries like France, Mauritius, UAE, Singapore, and including in the neighborhood like Sri Lanka, Nepal, and also. So this is also reducing the cost of transactions of money flow from abroad to India, and also within India also it brought a lot of people from the unorganized sector into the natural mainstream of the economy. So it also increased the government tax revenues. Even government is using this UPI to transfer whatever money intended to be given to the beneficiaries. All the government subsidies are directly being created into the accounts of the these kind of beneficiaries. So it also prevented leakages. Earlier, one of our prime ministers used to say, when 1 rupee is transferred from Delhi to the beneficiary, only 17 paise was reaching the beneficiaries and the rest was just leaked in the process of transfer of the money. So we have this good base of the digital economy. So that's why we want to reach the 1 trillion overall digital economy by 2047. So we have a lot of elements, like already we have close to 900 million mobile phone subscribers and around 850 million people are using the data. So we have a lot of data available in India. So that's why Government of India, realizing the potential of the Gen AI, artificial intelligence, for the inclusive economic growth of India. So they have come up with a India AI mission this year in the month of last year in the month of March. So government came up with the India AI mission, so which tries to develop the AI ecosystem in India, and in fact, it has all the elements. Basically, government wants to develop the computing capacity in India. It has set a target of 10,000 graphic processing units will be developed in a public-private sector mode. So this computing capacity will be made available to the startup and also the entrepreneurs, professionals, researchers at free of cost or a very affordable cost, maybe very affordable cost. And government is also working with private sector players and also companies like NVIDIA to set up these GPUs. Already, so far, some people have also set up the GPUs in the private sector. Currently, India has 80,000 GPU capacity, and government is also encouraging Indian entrepreneurs, Indian startups to come up with own large language models. Because as you know, India is a huge diverse country. We have a lot of languages. Some of the AI models or applications which are developed in the West based on the local experiences and local data, they may not be perfectly suitable in the Indian conditions. So we are trying to develop our own large language models. And government is also encouraging startups to use and develop applications which will be useful for the socio-economic inclusive development, especially in the field of healthcare, education, agriculture, even fintech and also automotive and other industries also. So government is trying to encourage. They're also trying to develop courses not only in the big cities but also in the tier 2 and tier 3 to develop more people to learn at the graduation level. Already we have a lot of AI and machine learning engineering courses in many of the engineering colleges in India. So government is also trying to develop these kind of things. Already the overall objective of the India AI mission is artificial intelligence for all. And also we are also making how the AI can be developed, deployed and used responsibly, ethically in India. That is also one of the important consideration. And already some of the applications, like even in the agriculture sector, like we have a Kisan GPT. So farmers in India, they are using voice commands. Some of the illiterate farmers, they are using voice commands. They are from these kind of applications. Farmers are able to know what is the weather situation, what kind of crops they can grow, and also what are the market prices, what kind of subsidy government is giving, and when the subsidy will be transferred into beneficiaries' account. Even in the healthcare sector, a lot of applications are already developed. They are utilized by especially doctors in the rural areas. As you know, India, we have a large rural population, and doctors are mostly, specialists are located in the urban centers. A rural population, sometimes they have to they have to lose their life because of the lack of immediate healthcare facility and also because of the medical errors. So doctors now they are using, especially the general practitioners in the rural areas, they are using these kind of applications and utilizing them in the diagnosis. Especially somebody has some injury, they can simply use the AI tool application and also decide whether the patient has to be immediately transferred to a tertiary center or they can manage the patient. So these kind of things. Even the education sector, now many applications have come out which are also relieving the teachers and administrators from the routine mundane jobs, and also they can focus on the specific education needs of the student. So even in the automotive sector, fintech, a lot of companies have already invested and also they are increasing the productivity using the Gen AI, while there is also some sudden concern that AI could lead to loss of jobs in some sectors, but as any other technology revolution, we see that the new jobs will be created and some jobs will be lost. But overall, we think a positive attitude because, as you know, India is a hub of the global capability centers. Initially, all the MNCs which have started their IT services or business processing outsourcing. Now, all these centers have been transformed into research and development and innovation sectors. So India already is the GCC capital of the world, 50% of the overall global capability centers. We hope that by 2030, we'll have over close to 3,000 global capability centers and providing employment to 5 million. So in this backdrop, we see AI, India can produce more engineers in the AI field, and also they can help foreign companies also to, like, we can offer AI engineers at affordable cost. As you know, India, our space mission, we went to moon and we landed our one of the probe on the moon in last year. So it is at a very fractional cost of the NASA. So similarly, AI applications, if you use the talent available in India, Indian engineers, so you can cut costs and come up with applications and make a lot of money. And coming to the India-US collaboration, so just as you are aware, Honorable Prime Minister had a successful visit to Washington DC. He had a good meeting with the President Trump. So some of you must have also saw the visuals on the TV. And in fact, the Honorable Prime Minister, when he was speaking to the media, he spoke about the Make America Great Again, and also he spoke about the Make India Great Again, which is the concept of India becoming a developed country by 2047. So MAGA and MEGA will become a mega partnership for prosperity. So in this context, so they also launched a India-US Trust Initiative. Trust is an acronym for Transforming Relationship Using Strategic Technology. So strategic technologies includes artificial intelligence, robotics, biotechnology, space, semiconductors, and defense. So both countries will be collaborating in these kind of strategic technologies, including critical minerals and also ensuring the supply chains in pharmaceutical. So we would like to ensure that both countries, the partnership will be for the global good. So that is the guidelines which was provided by the leaders. And coming to the investment from US companies in India, already in the last few years, we see large investment by big companies like Amazon. Just in the month of January, Satya Nadella was in India. He announced a $3 billion investment for a period of 2 years to set up the Azure platform and also to create AI innovation capacity in India. As a part of that, they will be training 10 million Indians by 2030, and also they will be supporting 5,000 startup entrepreneurs using their Azure platform and also help them develop new AI applications. And even like NVIDIA, Jensen Huang was in India. NVIDIA and Reliance, they are partnering to develop a 3 gigawatt data center in Jamnagar, Gujarat. So as you know, normally data centers, they won't be more than 1 gigawatt capacity, but the first time this will be the largest, when developed, it will be the largest data center, which will have investment of $20 billion US, and we expect that mostly renewable energy will be used to develop this data center. And even OpenAI, Sam Altman was in India, so he declared that now India is the second largest users. Already in the last 1 year, their subscribers have tripled, and he also had a good meeting with our Minister of IT and Information Technology. So they said they will use the technology and collaboration with the US to develop India's own large language models, and also we will also build the computing capacity and also applications which are suitable for the overall inclusive development of India. And also India and US, we also partner at the global level. You must have heard about the AI Action Summit which was held in Paris, which was co-chaired by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji and also the French President. In addition to this thing, India and US also partner in the Global Partnership for Artificial Intelligence, which is focusing on the ethical and responsible use of AI. And we hope that the AI application, most of the like digitally not so happy, not so lucky people like in the developing countries and the least developed countries, they will also be provided more access to these new technologies, and the local conditions will also be taken into consideration when the applications are developed. And coming to the Silicon Valley entrepreneurs of Indian origin, as I said, a lot of opportunities are there. So you can develop applications like, as Sam Altman said, OpenAI, the second largest market is India. if you're developing some applications, especially in the healthcare, education, or fintech, you have a lot of opportunities. You can also market them in India. And also, we also have Indian startup entrepreneurs. They're also visiting Bay Area. Just in the month of November and December, we had 2 delegations of 25 to 30 members each, led by NASCAM. So they were here. So they were also trying to partner with the local entrepreneurs and also venture capitalists. So there is the consulate can facilitate this kind of interaction between the Indian entrepreneurs and the Silicon Valley entrepreneurs and see how both can benefit. And also, as the Prime Minister Modi ji mentioned, so we would like all the Indian diaspora members to become partner in the India's growth story and also benefit from the growing India market. And also we hope to see this thing will continue, especially in the AI sector also, because this is futuristic, and also in other emerging sectors like semiconductors, robotics, biotechnology. So consulate is there. I also have my colleague Abhishek Sharma. He is the Consul Commerce. So you can send an email and connect with him. And if you are willing to join any of the events organized by the consulate, we can send invitations so that you can participate and contribute to this India-US tech partnership. So once again, I congratulate ASEI for organizing this event. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we have a lot of folks that might benefit from some of the seats over here. So let's take a quick break for you guys to traverse, for those of you who want to grab some seats on stage left. And while we're doing this, I think we'd like to bring up Consul Reddy for a thank you gift. And Dean PK will extend a hope for summer, right? A hope for spring coming with the tulips. And this is my Tennessee tulips. I came here from Tennessee about 12, 13 years ago. So, as everyone makes their way to their seats, you know, it was interesting. I couldn't help but smile and frown when Consul Reddy was talking about GPU capacity in India. I am an investor in the AI infrastructure space, and our next speaker is from the Agentic, and that's your segue to make your way up here. Where are you? The first time I saw his CEO speak, I literally felt money draining from my investment accounts because of what they have figured out how to do that wasn't even on the radar 6 or 8 months before. It's such a dynamic space, and so much for all of us to grow from. And anyway, that memory came back for me. So Hans, if you'd make your way, here you are. So Hans Sandhu is the Chief Business Officer of the Agentic, and I love his talk. His talk, you guys might remember a few months ago, Satya Nadella, he's one of my favorites. He said AI agents, I believe it was, will eat SaaS. You guys remember that? So what a compelling, bold statement. Well, Hans is going to be compelling and bold, but he's changing it to digital workers, something we're all going to face in the future, working with hybrid people workforces and digital workers in the same context with shared assignments. So digital workers will eat SaaS is what Hans is going to share with us today. Again, it's Hans Sandhu, the Chief Business Officer of the Agentic, the AI agent infrastructure company. Thank you.
There we go. Tech guys with tech issues to start it off, right? As I like to call them. All right. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time. As I mentioned, let's get quickly into it. We've been talking about this, you know, at some capacity for about a year or so. So very thankful for other people to, you know, kind of hop on board to an extent. So I'm going to start off with saying, you know, again, my name is Hans Sandhu, the CBO of the Agentic. And let's just be straight, right? The only qualification I have for being up here is the fact that I'm a sponsor.
We like you already.
So, all right, you know, I don't want to deviate too much, but, you know, granted the platform and where we are today, I thought it would be kind of cool. So I wanted to start off with how I got here. So my father's from Singapore. My mother is a fifth-generation Irish Catholic from San Francisco. They met in London, bada boom, bada bing. I was born here in the 80s. So I apologize if you guys thought it was some German guy that was on the cards today. So, instead, you guys got a local guy who grew up in what I call the convergence of capital and technical markets here in the Valley. And growing up being so close to so many people who played pivotal roles in venture and early stage technology has truly shaped the way that I view early stage tech and business. Heck, my grandmother's next door neighbor was the guy who created the Ethernet. So, enough about me, don't need to talk about that. If there's one thing, and one thing only, that all you all remember today while I'm standing up here, and sweating might that be, it's this. It's that the future of AI needs to be owned and driven by thousands of innovative AI founders and not big tech. Big tech has the advantage of access to scalable, low-cost infrastructure and the tooling required, and the agentic is flipping that on its head. So before I share my thoughts, explicitly on the space, it makes sense to tell you guys some about the amazing technology our team has developed and open sourced over the past few weeks. So who are we? We're the AI agent infrastructure company. And it gives me, honestly, goosebumps to talk about what we've created over the past little bit. The agentic LLM, our own reasoning large language model that can be deployed privately. The agentic browser, a state-of-the-art web agent for browser automation that's available via API. And finally, the agentic bench, an open source infrastructure to build digital workers. And I'll be talking about this a little bit more. I'll give you guys also a demo as well. And I'll also talk to you about how you could potentially create one if you'd want one with us too. So in terms of what I'll cover today, I kind of call this internally the holy trinity of AI controversies. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'll be covering the first two. If you want to connect after, more than happy to connect with our engineering team here from a technical and architectural perspective, why we truly believe LLMs are not a commodity. So before we go into the capabilities, I want to show a quick demo of the agentic browser. It's our open source web navigation, web scraping, and web action agent. The browser takes natural language prompts as inputs, derives the intent, finds relevant domains and websites to fulfill the intent, and then can go to those websites, search for information, scrape data, and perform actions like clicking buttons, filling out forms, etc. Right? So this demo, as we'll see right here, analyzes whether Tesla or NVIDIA, right down the street, performed better over the last 6 months by scraping data from Yahoo Finance in real time. Again, fully open sourced, available via API. What you see right here is just for demonstration purposes from the US perspective. So mimicking the interactions a human would take, and obviously doing so, 24/7, 365, is an absolutely, totally different paradigm in terms of shift in the way that we're thinking about business, applications, technology, all of it, right? So I will say I kind of call this a web scraper on steroids. I've seen a lot of this stuff throughout my career, but never have I been able to see something like this in my honest opinion. So, we said it a moment ago, right? And we've been saying it, I guess until the cows come home type of thing, as they say, but AI agents will eat the web. Let me say that again. AI agents are going to eat the web. So, and in our mind, there's really a stark difference between legacy web and we're searching for information, was performing actions, and that's painstakingly slow, right? A lot of time, manual processes that go to actually do this. AI agents will completely transform browser interactions as we see it today, as you guys literally just saw a moment ago. So how do we see this unfolding in the future, right? Well, data will seamlessly adapt to your preferred interface, whether it's voice, text, image, maybe it's a mixture of them all, who knows, right? It'll be delivered to you the exact way that you need it, when you need it. And the way I like to describe this is AKA, data exactly where and when you need it, when you actually want it, right? Something enterprises, as we know, still struggle with due to the amounts of applications, data, types of data, et cetera, required. So the degree of personalization is really truly unfathomable, and in my mind, extremely exciting for what the paradigm shift is going to happen. So, we're not the same ones and the only ones saying this, thank God. AI agents are going to eat the web. Gartner and Forrester have been saying this, and it has enormous implications, right? One, the current internet is optimized for human interactions, correct? So take context structuring to ad placement, for example. With web agents automating this process and human interaction limited to just providing, natural language prompts and occasional verification or feedback, it undermines the entire web as we know it. Two, consider any research task, right? The internet plays a crucial role in enriching that information. AI agents can go navigate, scrape, and effortlessly do this, as I mentioned, 24/7, 365, with no coffee breaks or anything like that. So in my mind, and in our mind as a business, this calls for two significant requirements for what we call Web 4.0. Highly accurate and reliable web agents and websites optimized for these agents. Simply put, the way I describe this to my grandmother who lives next to the guy who created Ethernet is, hey, we're going from cities designed with horse and buggies in mind to now cities designed for spaceships. So with this transition, we're also going to see software as service will become service as software. This is a topic that's quite hot, I would say. But from my perspective, being a business individual, the buyer-seller asymmetry is completely flipped. We've already seen that within the enterprise. So what do I mean by this? Again, take B2B SaaS sales, for example. There's no reason now for a seller to get approached unless the person is seeking commercial information, needs a POC, or you want someone to do your homework for you the old-fashioned way, the way I like to call it. So I'm actually in a private group with a bunch of other CRO individuals. They're looking at one-to-one relationships of digital workers replacing who they have in seats. That is insane to me. But at the same time, based on the complexities we've seen, some of the solutions we've seen with those, it's absolutely feasible. So again, as someone who's made literally their life living in ARR subscription models, this is a huge turn. However, value outcome-based pricing will become the new norm, and without getting much too philosophical on everyone over here, I actually believe that's truly better for us all. So before I show you our digital worker, I thought it would be kind of a cool exercise to go through brief, but exciting evolution of digital workers. So digital workers V0.1, kind of the way that we look at it is more or less line of business activities. There's still a lot of these companies that are, what I call low no-code GPT wrappers that have created cool cam demos, but they don't work, right? A lot of our colleagues have invested into them without true architectural conversations, and a lot of these companies are kind of stuck in this one little place. So again, basic task execution with minimal intelligence, and there's no real adaptability. And again, they struggle with dynamic environments too. So in my opinion, much more of a nice to have and very little directly correlated business impact. Quick question. Has anyone here heard of Devon AI? You can raise your hand. A couple. All right, cool, awesome. So I would say Devon AI more or less is what we consider to be digital worker V1.0. I would say, incredible accomplishment. And us at the Agentic, we tip our hats literally to the business and to the engineers who tried to tackle such a complex, but in our view, more importantly, a very vast problem to try to go after, right? They kind of tried to boil the ocean in our mind. But what Devon did exceptionally well was execute complex workflows, but it struggled significantly with reliability and requires considerable human oversight to actually be used, right? If it works, 1 out of 5 times, I'm probably not going to use it. So, Hans, what's the next phase? Oh, glad you guys asked. So, the vertical AI agents designed for specific business goals, actions, or tasks, okay? They utilize agentic memory, can auto-evolve, and are human-in-the-loop guided with the ability to be privately deployed. Let me say that again, to be privately deployed. So, I'll show you one right now. Okay, so this is what I truly consider to be a glimpse into the future. I have somebody who's been in AI at a company who manages, I think, like 10.1 trillion in AUM. He said this was the coolest thing he's seen in years, just a couple weeks ago. So pretty excited to show you all. But this is our client, MedNova. He's given us the ability to show this. Background, the founder has worked in AI and ML for, I think, about 15 years or so. Mostly with like the biggest names in pharma, all which are like down the street, down 101 over there, right? So this work that you're gonna see in a moment took on average a little bit of about 3 to 4 or 5 months to complete. It's now being done in a period of a couple hours. So here, what you're gonna see on the right-hand side, we have a library of pre-built custom agents. The orchestrator is the parent agent. It analyzes the input prompt, drives the intent, and then generates a plan for execution. The web agent is the agentic browser. That's our automation engine. And then you also have a local file agent that can work with remote local file systems, databases, etc. Coder agent that can go code on the fly for data analysis, any type of manipulation you need. A RAG agent that can be utilized for vector, knowledge graph, and different RAG implementations, mind you, different types of RAG agents. And an API agent that can work publicly and private APIs, building advanced automations. So what you'll also see on this side as well is that we built some custom ML agents for Mednova 2, way above my pay grade, guys, so don't ask me what they do. However, what I do understand is the final outcome and the result, right? And that's a drug test target implementation. So we can click play right here. You guys can see it in action. This is sped up, obviously, but again, this is something that would take months to actually run, but it is taking a couple of hours. And I will say, as this is running, people always ask us, wow, Hans, this is fantastic. How much does this cost? $1 million? No problem. It actually costs less than 100K. And 2, how long did it actually take to implement? This actually only took us about 3 months to create. So right here, you are seeing different interactions associated to this use case. So where is it right now? It's going through. I lost my train of where it was. However, I can show you after. So essentially what it did was it ran through, did a bunch of different tests, did essentially what a worker would do sitting in the seat, and replicated that exact same research work. And it did so in a period of just a couple of hours versus a couple of months of doing this. This has been deployed already. I can't say who it's been deployed to, but you can guess they're down the road over there. So we were talking about this momentarily ago. I think I'll pay a little homage to it, but major shift is happening right now, right? We're moving from software as service to service as software. It's happening right before our eyes, literally right next to us, between all of us together. AI agents provide the opportunity to tap into a $10 trillion labor market, which has largely been manual and human operated until now, right? And they're capable of replacing much more than manual work through research automation and business process automation. I always joke and say, don't tell all the marketers, they're gonna say this is another digital transformation use case. So the opportunity lies in our minds in structuring AI-first organizations that deliver highly accurate and reliable automations. And again, in our mind, it is the time to build these blueprints and these AI-first organizations right now. So, as I mentioned that, not only does it change how software is built and architected, but more importantly, I think that this is something we should pay attention to, also transforms how it's priced. So, fixed pricing models, subscriptions, standard across legacy SaaS, as we know, users pay a subscription fee, it works for them or it doesn't. At the end of the day, there's really no guarantee of the outcome of work, correct? So digital workers are multi-agent systems that dynamically create complex workflows based on the input's intent to achieve a desired outcome. That is very different. Most importantly, these systems can be refined and evolve over time. Thus, they're actually outcome focused, right? And it brings a significant value to users. And what I truly feel with this is that this is great for all of us. Right? Because we're leading with the intent of outcome versus whatever you were doing before. And that's an absolutely different paradigm shift. I will say, this is something that kind of hurts me to cover, absolutely. And it's because of how many people it will impact, but at the same time, there are so many other avenues in which I think jobs will be created and life will be better with the use of AI and agents. So legacy SaaS represents a structured system, as most of us know in here. Typical software development lifecycle. Much of the time was spent writing code, manually defining, construction the workflow, and mostly the application architecture. With today's AI tools, the approach for building this is completely flipped. So writing code, developing the functionality, and becoming relatively more or less straightforward for right now. So the main challenge, now is ensuring that AI first and agentic workflows are reliable and accurate. And really, as a result of this time, dedicated to task and process design, intelligence creation, tuning the LLM for a specific domain, and establishing human-in-the-loop capabilities. It's completely flippant. So, as others struggle, I think you guys can tell I'm a startup guy. I'm not a established company guy, as they say, but it's a leg up for startups. Costs almost nothing to create a vertical, personalized, outcome-based solution. And really, just to summarize, digital workers will transform the concept of SaaS as we know it today. The global SaaS market cap is expected to rise from 300 billion to 3 trillion with services software. Okay? Previously untouched verticals relying on manual labor represent a huge shift. As I mentioned, don't tell the marketers the digital transformation. Right? Vertical digital workers can deliver significant value based on those underserved markets. And a new generation of users is already embracing outcome-focused dynamic agents made up of several smaller specialized agents instead of complex, large SaaS platforms in our mind. So, I won't spend too much time on this, but I have to do it, right? So if you have an idea, if you work at an organization, anything like that, we have brought on 30 individuals, companies who are trying to build digital workers in the past 3 weeks alone. And what I do from a business validity, use case validity standpoint, our team essentially looks at it, says, hey, does this have use? Could this be used in the enterprise? How do we actually potentially take a bet on this? If it passes that test, we'll give you the opportunity to opt into a program that we have, which is called the MVP Launch Program. Happy to talk to you about it a little bit more. But essentially what it gives you the ability to do for a low barrier to entry is to create a company or create an idea and go validate and test that. We have 2 phases of this. I won't go into much detail of it. But again, for a little working capital of less than 50K, you can get a product that actually works. And if it doesn't work, no problem at all. I'll refund your money. So with all that, just wanted to say thank you guys all so much for the opportunity to speak with you all today. I'll put up my QR code up there. Feel free to connect with me. Feel free to stop me at any time. If you're interested in what we're doing from a company perspective, more than happy to connect with our team as well. Thank you again. Thank you. Oh, thank you guys.
Spring is in the air, and I felt some investment funds coming back into my account with what he's describing, right? You guys agree? There's so much opportunity coming for all of us. I know we are, and this is my space, gonna have some pretty tremendous people impacts, but we're also gonna have some people upside with what we're gonna be developing and delivering. Hans, don't go too far, because at the end of the day, we have a networking session, and I think we're gonna have a long line. We'll put a sign-up sheet out there if we need to. Thank you. All right, so our queuing up, well, we do a few pictures here. We're keeping on moving, and we're gonna queue up our next speakers for a fireside chat. And Arvind, I don't know you. You're probably making your way up here. Arvind Jain is the CEO of Glean. But I was completely impressed with, I didn't know much about Arvind, and when I was looking at his profile, I wanted to call him Midas, because it seems like everything that he's touched in his life is a household name, at least here in the Valley. Arvind started off at Microsoft. From there, he did tours of duty at Riverbed and Akamai. I was at Akamai, but long. You were there when it was good, and I was there when it had settled down a little. But Arvind also then moved on to Google and spent about 10 years at Google developing some of their key functionality in search, maps, and YouTube before he got an itch to scratch and founded one of my favorite darling companies, which is Rubrik. Rubrik is a fascinating company. He was the founder. He led R&D there. But then again, in about 2019, he got another itch and went and founded Glean. Glean is fascinating. So 2019, I don't think agentic AI and how that affected the workforce was top of mind for most of us. But Glean is an AI-powered work assistant. I love their tagline. It brings people the answers they need to be more productive and happier at work. And don't we all need to see people who are happier at work? So, Arvind, thank you for being here today. Arvind is going to, there you are, I'm looking for the ball cap. Arvind is going to be in conversation with Piyush Malik. We've already introduced Piyush. What we might add to that is Piyush has a deep technical history. He was with the original Watson teams at IBM back in the day, long before we were thinking about AI as a commonplace dinner conversation. So he led teams at the forefront of AI, and then again, I think that's where his data days began, and they are far from ending. So I give to you Piyush Malik with Arvind Jain. Thank you both.
Arvind, first of all, congratulations. Do we have two mics? First of all, congratulations on the fastest 100 million ARR. This is a huge, huge deal. Please give round of applause.
Thank you so much for that. We are not the fastest, but we're happy to be there.
So, you and I both went to IIT Delhi, and I did not know that earlier, but now I know. But it's intriguing, the story from Rubrik and then Google and Akamai. I just obviously I know a little bit about those companies as well. Do you want to share what made you start Glean, and then we get into the state of AI?
Yeah, so we started Glean in 2019. For those who don't know what the company is about, think of it as a Google or ChatGPT, but inside your company. You go to Glean as an employee, and you can ask any questions that you have, and Glean will answer those questions for you. It's either going to use all of the world's knowledge to answer those questions for you, or it will also be able to use all of the internal company's data and knowledge and information to answer those questions back for you. So it's a very simple AI tool, day-to-day tool that that's always sitting next to you and ready to answer any questions or perform some of the tasks that AI can do for you. The additional power of Glean over ChatGPT is that it has all of that enterprise context and knowledge, so it can use that information to help you. The reason we started Glean was just, I think to solve a problem that, I personally faced myself, my entire engineering career. I've been working for now almost 30 years as a software engineer. And I'll tell you, one of the interesting things, at Google, I spent over a decade building Google Search. And so my whole career was about helping people get answers to questions that they had. But I realized that, I was not actually helping myself. None of us at Google were helping ourselves. It was incredibly hard to find anything inside Google. We can actually find things on the web. And it's a problem that, all of us as knowledge workers, we face, in our companies in terms of information. Knowledge keeps growing and exploding every year, like it doubles. And it's also spread across so many different systems, making it really impossible to find anything. And, as employees, we basically resort to, connect with people, ask people more like, whatever things we're looking for. And so that was the idea. We wanted to actually save that time, like 1/3 of all working time is spent just trying to find information, and we wanted to make it easy. So initially, we started in 2019, there was no ChatGPT, and our goal was, when somebody would ask you, what are you building? I said, well, we're trying to build Google like search inside your company. So that's the origins.
Right. Now, every entrepreneur that I meet has this idea to become a unicorn. And when you were growing up, especially during your college time, did you ever think that you'll be an entrepreneur?
Very interesting. I think before I got into IIT, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like as a kid growing and going to school, I had no desire to actually have a boss or do a job. And I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I think I come from a small town, where entrepreneurship is actually probably more common because there are no large companies, and you have to sort of build your own like small business to actually make a living. So it's sort of a common thing for us. So that's how So I did have a ambition and a desire to be an entrepreneur. I had that during my years at IIT, but then I promptly forgot about it. I actually started doing my job. I became an engineer, got into tech. And I worked at Google for a long time, and I was really happy. Just being at Google and building products that we use on a day-to-day basis, search, maps, YouTube. So I was fully happy. And then, so in that sense, like, the actual entrepreneurial journey that I have, starting Rubric and then Glean, those are accidental and those happen when I actually didn't have the desire.
Great, great. And, pivoting to the real topic, state of AI. You are one of the prominent players in the AI industry now, and so I just want to get your download on, a lot of people think that ChatGPT, and then they start thinking about AI. But you and I know that 1950s when the Dartmouth conference happened, and then the springs and winters happened, and I've seen myself and lost my hair doing all of that. But that aside, where do you see where we are with AI and where we are going? Crystal ball.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So I think, like, first, AI, the way I think about it is, we have crossed, certain threshold where nobody is now confused anymore whether AI is a passing trend, whether it's something, really powerful. I think all of us believe that AI is very, very powerful and it's going to change, how we live, how we work, how we play. So that's that's a big hump to cross. Like for example, I would say that many of the past big trends, that we sort of never really crossed that level of acceptance, that this is a technology that's here to stay, and all of us better learn it. In terms of the impact of it, like, we're in very, very early innings. Most enterprises, they have not really seen meaningful value. I would like, they've seen some like ROI from AI already, but I would say, like, this, like, we're like 1 or 2% of what we will see over the next few years. From a technology perspective, I think the models that we have today are incredibly powerful. Like, there are oftentimes, you'll hear in the market that, well, it looks like, the AI innovation is slowing down. Like, the new models are taking longer to build, and they're not really, like, as, like, significantly more powerful than the previous generation. But I always like to correct people that the current models that we have, like, whether it's GPT 4.0 or O1 or Claude or Gemini, they're all extremely powerful, and as technologists, we haven't even made use of 1% of the capabilities they offer to us. In fact, like, as engineers, we've started to play with these models. We've tried to make them do many, many things. In fact, million plus developers have done it, but we still have, barely scratching the surface of even discovering the core capabilities of the current models. So my belief is that, even if, there is no more innovation on the LLMs, you can take the current set of models and fundamentally change how work happens, inside a company. Majority of the work that we do across functions, whether you're engineer, customer support person, or like in finance or HR or legal or IT, you can easily envision majority of that work, could be actually replaced with systems that are built on the current set of capabilities of LLMs. You don't need new innovation on the LLM front to actually make that happen. So we'll get there very quickly. I think, this year, like, one of the things, that we think in 2025 that's going to be really different about AI is, so far, like, AI has been about, well, can I automate things with it? Can I, have a smaller team and do more? It's about efficiency, it's about productivity, and which is all, like, very important. But I think, that's also, again, really scratching the surface of, like, what AI can do for us. 2025 is when you will actually start to see different things. People are going to actually, do things that they couldn't ever do before. So it's not about, like, hey, can I go twice as fast? It's going to be, can I do something that I just simply couldn't do before? I'll give you a very simple example. As a product manager, one of the things, that we have to do is we have to look at customer feedback and then decide, like, what are the things, we should be building, in the next 1 year. And before, like, as a human, like, you just had fundamental limits of scale. You could actually talk to maybe 10 or 15 of your most important customers and try to get, like, feedback from them and then decide what to do. But, we have, in any large enterprise, you have thousands of these calls, a lot of feedback that actually comes all the time. And now you have power of AI that can actually take and go through all of those, thousands of different calls and, look at, the key themes, figure out the key feedback within those themes, and like, give me as a product manager is a real view of what my customers are looking for, something that just simply couldn't do before. So there are like fundamentally new things that we'll all be capable of doing with AI, and you're going to see a lot of that start to happen this year.
So it seems like you're very bullish on AI, right?
Who's not?
So we heard about the digital workers, and we keep hearing, and at least I have seen more than 200 agentic AI companies.
Yeah.
What sets you out as this distinguished company, and what will make you successful?
Yeah. Well, first, I think it's great to see so many companies coming up in AI and agentic. In some sense, we are a dinosaur, in this domain now. Clean started 6 years back. They're the first company to bring the transformer technology to the enterprise. We built things like vector search and custom analytics for business before those terms were invented. And so we had our own terms, which we now have to sort of go and start to use industry parlance. So we started early, and the one of the things that I would say in terms of what sets us apart now is basically just the more time that we had to build a lot of fundamental technology that allows us to tap into the power of these transformer models. One of the things that Clean does is the way the product works is that we are a very horizontal product. When you deploy Clean inside a company, you connect Clean with all of the enterprise systems and data sources. So when you go to Clean, you connect it with systems like Workday, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Google Drive, SharePoint, all and it's not really deeply understands your institutional knowledge inside your organization. And then it gives you this, that allows Clean to become there's just one product that you can actually work with and build all kinds of AI agents across different functions and departments. So that's something that is unique about us. But I think I'll just say one more thing. People talk a lot about virtual workers, AI workers. I personally don't feel excited about that trend of that there's a AI powered SDR or an AI powered human agent. I think replacing humans as a human I don't really feel particularly good about that whole concept. I think the real power of AI is going to be that it's going to augment us, and hopefully humans are going to be the masters of this technology and not the other way. And our vision, this is what you're going to see happen. Let's say in 5 years from now, you basically one of the things that's going to happen is that anybody who works in any company in the world, they're going to have an amazing team of people around them that are going to be their assistants and co-workers and coaches. This team is going to actually help you become better at things that you do. Today, we already have that concept. Like a CEO of a company, gets a team around him. You get the executives, you have the CEO assistants, the chief of staff, he is a coach, that helps him become better, and it makes him a 10xer. And I think we'll have that capability, for every employee in the future. That team that I talk about, the team of agents around you, that's all going to be AI based, of course. And I think that's you just imagine now, if we had that, if we had as an employee this team of 30 people around you constantly helping you, how is it going to enable you and the kind of things you're able to do.
Right. And I believe both Microsoft and Google have already said that 25 to 60% of the work is being done by their AI. They've reduced hiring, and also there was a financial services company, Goldman Sachs, which said 51% of, and this is the stats from last week, 51% of their employees are now AI workers. So it's alarming, because this is something which I have dreaded all my life. Believe it or not, in 2009, I gave a talk right here in San Jose, Smart Data Conference, rise of the machines, and if machines rise, what will the humans do? And I still have that recording and screenshots saved somewhere. I shudder at nights, because it is going to cause civic disruption. People don't have jobs. People don't have meaningful things to do. So what can we as technologists do something? And of course, I'll share a little bit more about ASEI, which I did earlier. We were formed to do youth empowerment and create a next cadre of technologists, scientists, and engineers amongst the diaspora who will take the world and who will be unskilled. And so with that motive, what is it that we as technologists can do in our profession to secure the future of humans?
Yeah, so first, I would say not just technologists, but anybody who works really, what can you do today to stay relevant, in the future? And then, part of it is just use the AI tools. Don't have to do anything dramatic. Go use ChatGPT. If you're, in your work life, use a tool like Lean, and try to do more and more of the things that you do. Start to become lazy. Try to take whatever tasks you have. And see if AI can actually do it for you, right? I think that's how you sort of get that education, to start to happen. That's how you become an AI expert, is just the usage of the tool. And I think that people should feel really motivated, we're all creatures of habit, we know to change, the way how we do things. And I think that's the only, the small shift in mindset, that I always advise people to do, is that, look, here's a tool, maybe it'll actually do that work that you're going to spend the next 2 hours. It'll do, either do it for you, or, maybe do half of it for you. So just try it out. I think so that's number one thing. Just use AI tools, and they're out there, they're available, there are plenty of them. And I don't think you have to really think about anything structured, in my opinion. You don't have to think about education, training, courses. The more you use AI tools, the more you're automatically able to become an expert. And then, I would say that, I don't think machines are going to replace humans in the future. I think we all sort of tend to also overhype, how powerful this technology really is. It's not actually that powerful right now. It's very powerful in the sense of that it can actually hold a lot of knowledge. It can actually, work with a lot of information, but it cannot actually think like a human. Just to be clear. So, but what we always remind people is that it's not the machines, that are going to replace you. It's going to be those, AI first, employees who are going to train with AI that are going to replace you if you don't train yourself.
Great. I know I'm getting the hook. 1 minute left. So, how can this audience, it's a captive audience here, how can they be useful to you, to Lean, and how can we work collaboratively?
Well, I think first of all, I'm so honored to be here and have this stage. In terms of how can you be helpful? First I'm running a business, so if you are in large companies and you think a tool like Lean will be helpful to you, so just connect with me, and we'd love to sort of have that collaboration, bring our tools to you. If anybody is looking to work at a Gen AI company, a native Gen AI company, learn more about AI, we are actually growing very fast, and we're looking for people. That's another thing. And then finally, we're also, we have a strong platform, for enterprise AI. So there are startups, people who are building startups, and they're finding it hard to build a lot of plumbing that's required to build AI systems. You can also work with us and build your startups on our platform, which will allow you to actually move faster. So just a few ideas. But again, thanks for the opportunity.
That's great, Arvind. Thank you very much for being here. Big round of applause. I would say we have a lot of students as our members. We can offer you interns for this. So as you are growing, please use our interns. And thank you very much, Raj, our board member. And
I understand Juniper is a very happy customer. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Arvind.
I'm feeling better and better. I'll say that earlier. So next up we have Madhu Sudhakar. We're about to have a high energy 10 minutes with Madhu. I've seen Madhu speak, 4 or 5 times. Madhu is always Madhu is always super high energy. He is the co-founder and founding CEO of ASEI. ASEI, you've only said it 6 or 8 times. He's an inventor, he's an investor actually, he's a serial entrepreneur. He's very excited about what his company brings to bear for the planet. So he sold several of his prior startups to bigger enterprise tech companies like Splunk, VMware, you've heard of those guys. And I can't wait to see what he tells us about what he thinks is happening next with enterprise AI opportunities.
Thank you, Thomas. All right, guys. Are you guys all awake? It's Happy Valentine's Day. There is a love. I hope everybody gets a flower, right? From me? You should also get the spring flowers. Okay, good. All right. So, who has my slide? You will try with my slides, or should I do my slide? All right.
He's up on the.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, that's it. Everybody see it? Is it projector mode or something?
You have 23 slides and 8
Okay. We will do as fast as we can. It's supposed to be an agentic Valentine. How about that, right? All right. I think you guys heard a lot about agents. I'm not going to talk about this. I want to make money. I want to make yourself great again. Not Nika, not Maga. Where is Dr. Srikhar Reddy Garu? Okay. I want to make money for myself. I want to make money for yourself. That's my talk. Right, guys? With this, we go to the next slide, please. I don't have the control, but if you have the control. Right, look at guys, embrace Trump. I know why we invited Representative Rokana. We should be inviting Republicans. Who are the Republicans in the room? Raise your hand. Right? Only one Republican in the back. Right? If you don't embrace Trump and tariffs, it's tariffs, baby, tariffs. Like the drill, baby, drill. You are the entrepreneurs. Figure out how to use tariffs to make money for you yourself. Right? If you don't embrace Trump, you are going to be left behind. You have maximum 4 years, minimum 2 years. Before midterm election at Trump. Everybody is making money. Elon Musk is making money. If you don't make money, your party gets over in 4 years. Time started, guys. So that's my message. Look, tariff is going to help. Nobody should be working with Coher. If anybody is working with Coher, I'm looking at my good friend Rama. Hopefully she's not working at NVIDIA with Coher. Coher should be taxed. Coher should be tariff. Mistral should be tariff. Like, we are in America, guys. Why are we as entrepreneurs competing with Mistral and Coher and they get money from their federal government? Do you think we get federal government money here? Startups? Has anybody got a federal government money here? Raise your hand if you heard it. So the whole tariff game, we need to embrace. Tariffs are good for entrepreneurs. Everybody I talked from guys who are building chips, component players, automotive, tariffs will create an even playing field between us and rest of the America, rest of the world. So embrace tariffs, guys. If you go to the next slide, please. $500 billion. I can't even count. People are talking about trillions and billions. I want to make millions. Forget billions, guys. This is your time. Figure out how to make money and start it. How to be part of this party. I don't know why you're talking about agent. I don't know where that agentic guy, Hans. Hans, you should be talking about agenting for the Stargate. I don't know where you are. Right? I know you're a German guy, born in UK, born for Indian parent. Like, figure out, man, you will be part of Stargate. Excellent. Look at, I don't know how to count billion. Like, Satya says 85 billion, then our friend Google guy says 75 billion, Meta guy, it's not billion they're throwing every year. These are the years they're going to spend. Are you guys part of this ecosystem? Then you're wasting money. This is a Valentine's Day. I love to talk to you. But after this, you're not part of here. Quit your jobs. First of all, if you're not working for NVIDIA or mega companies, you're doing something wrong. They are the people who are making money. There is my friend Glenn. He made money. Mihir Routers from anywhere, he's made money. Rama made money. I didn't make money last 2 years in ChatGPT. You guys make money? If not, I'll make money, guys. So if you're not part of this ecosystem, you're not going to make money. So stop doing this agentic AI. All these things is scam, guys. Figure out how to make money. Look at it. $3 or $4 spent on hardware. We're all losers in this room. I didn't make money. Stop doing software, guys. Do hardware. Look at that. My friend there. NVIDIA, Jensen is making money. This is the only way to make money, guys. There's no other way. This party is going to last for at least 4 years. Please. Look at the water. Before ChatGPT, it's been more than 2 years ChatGPT. Are you part of this circle? If not, join those companies. I don't want to if you have been there more than 4 years, any company quit. If your company is before ChatGPT, quit. Right? You should be working for these companies. Either join these companies, like there's no, all these companies are older. Somebody is talking with Juniper. I don't know where is my friend Raj. I know Manoj. They're like, come on, man, your grandfather. My grandfather used to use Juniper. I'm 25. I know how to spell Juniper. To the next one. Oh, there are winners and losers. If you are a developer trying to these losers, you're going to waste your time. There's enough winners in the LLM world. figure out. We want India to create some kind of a new LLM. Modi LLM maybe. I call it Kama LLM or not Kama Sutra, but Kama LLM or Bhagavad Gita LLM or something like that. Right? We need some new LLMs. These things cut down the cost by 50x. Performance may be only 75% good, that's okay. I hallucinate half the time. You think employees don't hallucinate? They don't even come to work. They're in WhatsApp sending messages. They're not doing job. Right? So DeepSeek really changed the game, guys. Look, there's a lot of things we can talk about it. The money in LLM is no longer there. The money is in the apps. Actually, money is in the hardware. I talked about it. Oops, can you go back, please? So look at reasoning, test and compute, reinforcement learning is back again. Nobody wants everything is reinforcement learning based, right? This value and showcase something very interesting for us. So I think it's important to see what they have done. It's a real model. It can be run in US if you want. Take your own version. You don't have to send the data to China, right? Cost reduction is humongous. So if I'm an entrepreneur, before I have to beg for people for GPUs and CPUs, I don't have to do that. So it's actually good for entrepreneurs what they've done. Right? Look at this. Like earlier somebody said Glean reached 100 million. Congratulations to our friend Arvind. There are so many companies, but that's not the way to go. If you want to build a company now, you do not want to do this. Remember, he said it, he's a 2019 company. Look at the new age companies. You can reach 100 million era with 10 to 20 people in less than 2 years. That's a new mantra. That is your goal. That's your cursor. The new people that I look for investing money or when I work with the investors, we want you to be this. If you're a parent or a grandparent, go there. I'm not going to invest in you. It's my money, our money. So people will go after here. So it's important to look at where the money is flowing right now. You can approaches, architecture approaches. There's A and a B and a C. A is building LLMs, fine-tune them, training them. These other ones are approaches there. You don't have to build LLMs. You can do RAG, prompt engineering, SFTs. You can do a lot of different RLs. So figure out what applications you want to make, right, for your applications. Listen. Jensen's law. I am calling it. I wish. Mama, you should tell that Jensen I'm creating this. It's no longer Moore's law. Moore's law is sitting in the grave. He's not going to come back from the grave. It's all Jensen's law right now. Compute capacity doubling every 6 months. So in 10 years, somebody said 10 years conversion to this organization. 10 years from now, a student of 10 guys, that's million-fold increase in compute capacity. What can you do? That's where the money is going. You should follow Jensen's law. We are not thinking about that. Don't design the products for today. Predict where the puck is moving. That's very important. Look at where it's happening. Nobody cares about foundation models. The growth of foundation models or infrastructures, it's not even horizontal AI. It's in vertical AI or departmental AI. Everybody's talking about, so figure out, created for micro industry like meat packing industry, agentic, are created for within retail space. So the more vertical you go, more departmental you go to finance, accounting, supply chain. That's where all the money is, not in the horizontal area anymore. This year's, if you look at the last year, no, this is 50% less. My prediction this year will be is horizontal area will go to only 2x increase. After DeepSeek, every valuation is down. So if you are a unicorn, you're already dead unicorn. Go to the next one. What are the killer apps? Killer apps are, these are people are buying this. The people are buying Copilot, agents, platforms. Right? My friend here is there. Hopefully, Automation Anywhere will go public. I want to buy his stock if he goes public. Right? This is what is selling out there. Go to the next one, please. Chat, we'll go about coding assistants. If you don't use coding assistants, all of you will lose jobs. I know you guys are all interns and students here. First thing is stop writing the code for your assignments. Assignment close. Give it to code assistant. That's it. Sleep, watch the TV, go to basketball, all players game, don't do any assignments, guys. You're in college, you're not in high school. Wake up, use code assistant, even at work. Most of the boards that I'm in, if your code assistance is not generating 30-40% of code, I leave the boardroom. My rule to the entrepreneur is very clear. If you are not generating 40% of your code to code assistance, CEO is doing something wrong. They are already asking, every board member is asking that question. Go to the next one, please. I'm getting the cook. I have 1 minute. SaaS is that we talked about it. Consumption model, value-based, agentic. Even Salesforce is changing their name to Agentforce. When did you hear Mark Benioff changing his name in 25 years? Nobody calls Salesforce anymore, it's called Agentforce. Right? ROI is very key. We don't need to talk about ROI. Everybody knows that. Go to the next one, please. I think, yeah, building, very important. People have stopped buying products. So if you're an entrepreneur, create shovels, create hammers. People are not buying horizontal products. Last year, 80%, 23 was 80%, it's down to 47% now. So if you're building a product, enterprises are not buying those. They're buying platforms to build up tools to do it. So it's very important for all the software and entrepreneurs, this one. Next one, please. AI adoption is not happening, guys. If you see 58% of the POCs are cancelled, it's like baby being killed in the bathwater in the bathtub. It's sad. And before 1 year completes. So if you got a POC, don't get excited. Tell the customer to pay you. Right? Look at NVIDIA using NVIDIA will give you GPU for free. You have to pay it upfront first. Whether it gives you add value or not. So this is what you have to do as an entrepreneur. Otherwise you're dead. You won't make money again. Look at how many unicorns are there. I can't even count. What is it? They said 340 unicorns. Go to the next slide. They're all going to be dead, guys. What DeepSeek has gone is this one. You don't want. So if you're at a unicorn company, quit. Sell your stock right now. You can make money for yourself. Sell the stock to your company. Sell it to your investors. Focus on making money. Follow Mr. Trump. Follow Elon Musk. The only Republican, only winner in the room is the person who raised their hand. All of you are losers on a Valentine's Day. Go to the next one. I'm optimistic in going IPO, guys. I want me to go IPO. I want you to go IPO. I want to go myself to IPO. Our acquisitions. Acquisitions are not happening, guys. I'm very glad that I wish Republican Rokana was here. Democrats put it up. Lena Khan stood up all our party for last 4 years. I want us to embrace no Lena Khan legacy, guys, next 4 years. We need to go IPOs and acquisition. Nobody's buying any company. Google didn't buy anything, Meta did not buy anything, Satya did not buy anything. Nobody's buying any companies. So there's M&A going on. Nobody's making money. Everything unrealized gains, paper gains. So that's my key message to you guys. So hopefully that works. That's it. If you go to the next one, that should be the last one. Thank you. Hope it's very good.
Thank you. Good job. I've never seen him have the mic. And usually he's on panels, and I knew it would be exciting.
Very practical.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
No,
Let's get a picture. I think you should give the money to everybody, not the flowers. I said make money. You should sell this thing and give it to that. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to bring up now security, privacy, ethics, and responsible AI. A slight agenda shift. So Mihir Shukla and Deepu Chatterjee. Okay, so Mihir is another LinkedIn top voice. Hi, nice to meet you. And a visionary in the automation space. He is the co-founder of, wait for it, Automation Anywhere. How many of you guys have had friends there, worked there? So great company. Thank you for what you've built for us. He is an absolute visionary in the automation space. And he's going to be working with Deepu Chatterjee, who is the CEO and co-founder of Confer. Deepu previously was the CEO of DX Continuum, and congratulations on your self-service now, another quality company here on the peninsula. So you gentlemen, have fun, enjoy, as you talk about security, privacy, ethics, and responsible AI.
Thank you. You're keeping a close eye on the watch. Maybe a brief intro from both of us, and then we'll set the agenda up. As I said, Mihir Shukla, CEO and Chairman of Automation Anywhere. We have today about 300 million AI agents running in about 19 data centers on the planet. We're one of the largest AI agent company there is, about 6,000 customers. Just to give you a sense, about 7 of the 10 largest banks on the planet use us. 8 of the 10 largest banks in India use us. When you land on a Mumbai airport, just 6 months ago, some of the operations are now run by AI agents. So it is more persuasive than you might think. 300 million of them growing at triple-digit growth. So in a couple of years, you'll see about 1 billion of them. So everything that you heard is here and now and real.
Sure. I'm Deepu Chatterjee. This is my second startup. I have, as introduced, I sold my previous company to ServiceNow. So my co-founder and I and there's another co-founder there, Kanan out there. We all three built pretty much what is today's ServiceNow's AI. Literally, I think it contributes about $1 billion, 10% of their annual ARR at this point. This time around, and it'll be a hard act to follow out of Muthu because Muthu already told that AI governance and all this is all crap and it basically stifles innovation. So this is an agentic product, Confluence agentic product for governance and compliance. We are reasonably horizontal. We don't. It doesn't matter if it's AI regulations or non-AI regulations. We essentially want to help customers reduce the amount of money they're spending on compliance. It's about $270 billion industry, and it is very, very manually run. 94% of the work is actually paper, and the people in that industry have a large proliferation of regulations, guidance, and policies coming their way. So today we are helping with our agentic product, helping them to scale. And tomorrow, when millions of as the future lies right ahead for agents, then millions of agents are going to come and do the work for you. They still have to follow the guardrails and the policies and the guidelines which a company and organization has to follow. And that's where we would step in, and just like a FICO score, which tells you how creditworthy you are, Confluence score will tell a particular compliance person or an engineering person how compliant they are to the company's policies. So that's what we are doing, and start talking about other things.
So we thought the way we would do this is we would divide this into 3 questions: why it is, what it is, and how does it work. And then we will take your questions, and maybe we'll leave some time for that. Yeah. I'll get started if it's okay. So why it is important? So this is not new. Any new technology, amazing technology comes. Think of driving cars. When cars came, you needed, imagine any kid driving it on the road, and 1 in 5 cars have an accident. Any new technology, if you don't have certain regulation, society cannot benefit. There won't be adoption of the technology. There has to be common set of rules on how you can operate, and signal lights and brakes and many other things. So this doesn't have to be complicated. My point is, we have been through many large technology changes. A good set of guidelines allows a faster adoption of the technology and benefits the society. So not a too stringent a regulation, but certain guidelines is helpful, like it has always been. That's why.
Very true. And as I said during the introduction, AI is not, while it's a technology, is actually going to be an applied word, right? It's basically you're applying it to cars, you're applying it to healthcare, you're applying it to industrial stuff, you're applying it to documentation, legal. So different usage, while you're using technology, you have to ensure, as I mentioned previously, you have to ensure that you are not creating an issue with the various mission statement, vision statement of an organization. Or if it's a federal organization, government organization, they have to follow certain ways in which they expect the demographic to respond to, and they be fair to respond. So that's all is invariant in a business situation. And as we lower down the barriers to adoption of AI and other stuff, since it goes up and up, there is a requirement for us for those usage of the AI to again conform to societal norms, to industry norms, to statutory body norms, and even to the mission vision of the company. That's what, and you're right, you both of us probably agree on this premise.
Second part is what it is. What all constitutes AI regulations? You want to start with that one?
True. So there are, as we have been dealing with this for about 3 years now, there are a few things. Obviously, there is a rule set. I mean, you can, bodies now, like governmental bodies, are coming up with their own set of what they consider is the right way of using AI. So it could be a directive, it could be a law. It depends on different. Now, that's also percolating down to the states. States can have their own versions of the same regulation, especially in certain industries. For example, in insurance industry, it is very much regulated by states inside the US. So a variation of AI law will be created by every state to for, say, the industry, insurance industry. It's no different from many other things work. For example, we have SOC and JPCI, but we also have NYDFS for the folks who are doing financial services in New York, and they're probably similar. So that's one set of things which is coming in. Then the second set of things that I said is around things around a company's own policies. I know there will be policies around DEI, which is not a hot topic these days. You may like it, you may not like it, but there are some good government mission policies around that. There will be policies around the fact that we shall not do these things in these countries. There could be anti-bribery laws, which are other laws, which applies to both supply chain and other things from when you're procuring information, material for your industry. So a variety of these regulations coming in, and of course, you have to scale to capture them. The number of people who will help you do that is not going to increase. So there has to be a way of doing it at scale. AI is a very good use because essentially think about these are documents, and LLMs are a great thing to use documents not only for figuring out what to do, but also to ensure that what we have done is correct.
So automation here plays a role where we help, because of our size and scale, we help countries help craft these guidelines and laws. So because we have a way of knowing, which way it's going to work in the real world. So there are a few elements of it. Security is important. Transparency is very important. One of the key part of that is accountability, which is when something goes wrong, who is responsible? If you figure that out, like in a car, there are laws governing if something happens, who is accountable. That solves many, many things in life. So defining that is important. One of the other key aspect is very important is accessibility. We already have a digital divide on the planet, and AI cannot make it worse. So we are part of a effort to train about 1 billion people on the planet on AI. Automation Anywhere alone has trained over 1 million people in 90 countries. This is non-profit part of our work. I think this is the one we will have to take it very seriously. Otherwise, the divide will get larger and larger. If the technologies have to serve societies and people, and if rich gets richer and poor gets poorer, we all would have failed. So something to pay attention to.
And also, let me add one more thing. In an organization, this is not a responsibility of one person. This is what we have seen is there's a very cross-organized and cross-business group responsibility. People from legal involved, people from compliance involved, engineering folks are involved, CISOs are involved. So the variety of folks are involved to ensure this across the entire company. And that requires a lot of collaboration.
One quick note on ethics. Ethics is a little less about technology, although technology can help. It's more about leadership. So we ran this conversations at Davos World Economic Forum a few weeks back, and we said, what is the one skill set that is most in demand and less available? And people thought it would be the LLM training or some AI training. It's the leadership. Because leadership, nothing happens on this planet without people deciding to do something. And things like ethics and accessibility, it's going to take various leadership skills for us to get there. And it can't be an afterthought. Look, we were not as aware that a like button could cause a mental health crisis. Now we know. We didn't know that then. Now we know. We can't do this again. Right? Now we know. So to get it right is very important.
So maybe a registration topics, because this conference is supposed to be AI, career ready, and everything else. Shall we talk something about what are the various things which people coming in can think about while they're doing their jobs to address an organization's, say, governance and ethics charter?
Sure. Sure. I think as somebody said, we have to continue the pace of innovation. We have to use them as guidelines. But they are important, especially because of the impact I mentioned it will have in society. When people come in, creating these guardrails allow, like if you think of a large organizations with 2, 5, 15, 30,000 people, Without guardrails, you can't allow everybody to go and run with it. And you want 30,000 people to go run with it. So that is why these guardrails are important so that people can run. I think you are going to find in terms of the career choices that most people in my generation and most people in this room, we studied one particular branch. I did engineering. You will see that the trend now is to do two. You do medical and computer science, rock climbing and video game programming, something else and something else, economics and neuroscience. You're going to see that trend which by combining two different branches, at least two if not more than two, you're going to connect dots that are not connected and it's going to transform how we think. And it's going to completely reshape the economy when people begin to combine two branches of the education.
I had been recently seen similar topic as this thing. Recently, we were at a conference on model risk management, which is actually probably the oldest, say, well-designed science for doing modeling risk and being fair and everything else based on different guidelines which the Federal Reserve brings into to the models, primarily the financial institutions. So I'm giving this. So one of the things which the gentleman from the Fed was talking about is that when they come and audit the model risk folks, they get primarily audited not on the fact that the model is doing the right things or not, but primarily the fact that they have not done enough documentation. The documentation is extremely important because not only their supervisors and the modelers would need to have the right things added in. The documentation brings in the trust and the transparency, which the ASEI 11.7 and other kind of the guidelines are actually trying to get. So going forward, I think as we develop a model-based or an application which is using is being used in the context of an application, the reasoning and why something has been done, and adding enough documentation while the product or the process or the project is being done will be very, very valuable. So that also brings in the fact that a degree in good writing along with doing technology could be actually very valuable. An ability to actually talk about what you're doing in something which is explains and can actually address a variety of regulations which the project or the product or the business process will have to adhere.
I'll do one last shout out and maybe we take one question if we have a.
Yeah, but your mic's not hot. Did you press the button under the bottom?
Okay, thank you. My quick note, we've been talking so much about AI learning, but I think what will become even more important is human learning. I wanted to give a quick shout out to UCSC folks here. I did my classes here when I moved from engineering to management 25 years ago, a long time ago. A fantastic institution, thank you. And I think along with AI learning, we'll have to continue to invest in human learning. On that note, open to, if you have 1 minute, we can take a question.
Oh, you're gonna make me split a baby.
Thank you. So my question is, you talked of the security guardrails and all that, but think of the millions of agents, or at least a fraction coming into the hands of like players who don't have, like hackers, stuff like that. So running millions of agents for the wrong purposes. So I was reading about self-replicating here. Of course, they are replicating based on human prompt, so nothing alarming as yet. But if the technology advances, the third case I wanted to bring up is a chess program. Somebody was trying to stock piece or the other players. So they were trying prompting a chess program. So it seemed the program wanted to manipulate. He basically rearranged the board, stuff like that. So I'm just giving this example. So what can agentic forces be in the hand of wrong forces? Or how will you guard against it? It's like a nightmare situation.
I think the concern about almost any technology is that holds true for almost any technology, because technology is just a tool, can be used for bad or good. This happened with internet and hacking and all of that. So for all of that, you're going to have a bad guy's agent and you're going to have a good guy's agent. I think it is more important to have a good guy's agent make faster progress, because the bad guy agents are already here. right? So, like most technology, you're going to end up with two. It is more important to continue to invest. If we ignore the bad guys, they can will take over. So, just like internet and hacking and all other security. The second risk that you hear about job loss, I think the most informed data we have says 19 million new jobs and 9 million jobs will go away. And 2 million jobs, but that's the 9 million jobs that go away are going to feel that way. Because it's not about economics, it's about people. So the faster we do reskilling and make it accessible to everybody, the better it is, right? By the way, there are no 2 million new people on the planet. So ideally, you want to take this 9 million people, retrain them, and give them those jobs because there are no other people available. Right? So,
I'm going to do one more.
those few of the risks.
Yeah, so this question is for Debu. So you mentioned about rule books and that stuff to have around the playbook and things that are set up by the organization, right? There is another way of enforcing that using the secure computation, basically what opaque system does. And the way that they do is that they write operators, secure operators on top of it, making sure that nothing gets actually bypassed. So you have guardrails on both sides, input and output. How hard it is to keep these rule books in play and have a system that is as dynamic where you provide these codes and all?
It is actually, so we can dynamically generate the rule book. So essentially, you're looking at two aspects. One is the ability of the processes and everything else to follow companies' guidelines and policies, which is a very high level stuff compared to the operator-based stuff. The operator-based stuff is more of a like a data quality, like PII stuff or the LLM things doing. It's not supposed to take in some secure something which is not right. So all that is at a much more granular level. Now, output of that is actually an input to the system. Suppose, for example, you have a question on fairness, and you want and the output of the tests which are run, and the test could bring in things from the lower things is brings in data, and we can then the output of those tests is actually input into a rule which says is the, for example, loan application is a loan disbursed by a bank map up to the demographic distribution of the applicants or the demography in which the bank is supporting. Now, so those kind of stuff can be done through a guidebook and a rule book which can generate out of policies. And as they change, you can actually have one rule book is the version 1 and one is the version 2, and you continue to do it continuously. That is the posture you need company organizers to have to understand how they are doing with respect to guidelines and regulations. Slightly different
Thank you, and I hope if you're able to spend some time at the end of the session with everyone, I'm sure they will really want to talk more with you guys. So thank you
for the opportunity.
All right, so we're going to do 3 things, and yes, they deserve the applause. We're going to do 3 things simultaneously. It isn't, what is it, everywhere all at once? So we're doing tulip duty. We're going to let the people on the side, if you guys want to take a seat now. I'm not saying you need to take a seat, but if you want to, now's a great time to come on through while we start the introductions for our next session. So our next session, we have 15 minutes on the latest use cases and industry applications for AI tech. I went to the Dell and HP global shows back last May and June. I spoke with 50 customers about use cases. Use cases is still today one of the more difficult things companies are having trouble wrapping their head around for prioritization. So I think this should be a really great session. We're going to be moderated by Lennon Galley. I'm trying to read that as Gail. So Lennon Galley. Hi, Lennon. Nice to meet you. Lennon's the Chief Digital and Business Officer who gets all the fun work at Atomic Work, an agentic service management startup. So agentic. You guys keep hearing that, right? We have 2 panelists. Dr. Uma Gayatri with SETI. Uma, I was with Frank Marches from SETI last week. He did a wonderful presentation. So you guys are doing amazing work at SETI. And then we have Dr. Ashwin Rao, the Chief AI Officer of QXO. I'd love to hear what that stands for. I didn't look that up. So it's QXO is a leader in supply chain. We have major opportunities with supply chain, and in particular, QXO is on the building materials side for managing supply chain with AI. So we have these 3 wonderful speakers. They've all, I knew there was a mic that needed to go somewhere. So for the next 15 minutes, they're going to be talking about the latest use cases and industry applications of AI technology.
Hello everyone. I'm here to discuss about AI in drug discovery. A brief introduction of myself. I'm a scientist and I'm into astrobiology and medicinal chemistry. I've been implementing and using AI in various ways. So today I'm going to discuss the uses that have helped accelerated the drug discovery process. I'll let my other panelists introduce themselves, then I'll get back.
Thanks, Uma. I'm Ashwin Rao. I am the Chief AI Officer at QXO. It's a company that it's a startup. We do distribution of building materials. It's a New York-based company, but I live here in Palo Alto. I have a second job. I'm an adjunct professor in applied mathematics at Stanford University. My research and teaching is in a branch of machine learning called reinforcement learning. My background is in Wall Street originally, 15 years doing derivatives trading, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and then I spent 6 years leading the AI efforts at Target, the retail company.
I think the moderator goes to last here. It's Lenin Galik. I'm the Chief Business Officer at Atomic Work. We're the agentic service management company trying to displace the old comers, the traditional software companies that are out there, including ServiceNow and BMC remedies of the world today. We're the Teslas.
Hello, for those who are standing on other side, please be quiet. We want everyone to be able to hear what we are talking. So if you are standing, if you want to talk, please feel free to go out of the hall. If you are here, please be quiet. Thank you. Sorry about that.
All right. So I think I was a CIO, CISO, and then was an investor. Eventually joined Atomic Work through co-investing opportunities, and then so came in to really transform the business, and then we're here to really take on the industry leaders in transforming that. But we consider ourselves as Teslas of service management because we're AI native as opposed to the old incumbents that are in the market today. And then there is an advantage of actually bringing agentic service management because the world is going to be changing tomorrow. It's all about agents running in the ecosystem. Just like all humans, there will be an equivalent of number of agents in the organization. They all need to be coordinated. They all need to be working. Just like SaaS sprawl happened, agentic sprawl will happen, and obviously you have to service. And also you have to service the end users, in this case all of the employees, and their knowledge management. Absolutely you're servicing. Obviously that's one of the biggest challenges that we're solving right now. So that, Uma, being the SETI member and doing the drug discovery research, and you have a wide variety of research scientists that are working with you guys in your organization and collaboratively. Could you give a couple of use cases that are really changing and transforming that drug discovery and then pharmaceutical industry?
Yes, definitely. So AI is definitely helping drug discovery process. Currently we have few test cases which are successful. I can quote Genentech is already using AI in collaboration with AWS and NVIDIA. And they have come up with solutions like Lab in the Loop, where they train using the existing scientific data, lab studies and clinical studies. They train and develop algorithms which will help them accelerate the drug discovery and development process.
That's great.
And there is also another example in silico medicine, which has solely used AI. They use AI for strategy, and their drug is already in phase 2 clinical trials.
That's good, thank you. Ashwin, I know you come from the retail background, and where you actually deployed Target and AI, and then now at QXO you're doing building material related and supply chain optimization and deploying AI. could you describe like exactly precisely where AI is leveraged within Target when you were there versus where you are today?
Yeah, my target work and my current company's work is similar. The idea is to distribute goods, materials to the right parties. So it all starts with demand forecasting. You got to know how many people will buy certain things at specific stores. And then you have to build a supply chain. That's one of the hardest problems today. We saw the problems during COVID. Supply chain is about getting inventory to the right places at the right time in the right quantities. Then there is figuring out logistics in a warehouse, transportation routes to be optimized. There's dynamic pricing. And then there's the whole world of e-commerce. You got to get your personalization in place for recommendation systems, marketing science. I mean, AI is all over the place in a world of retail and more broadly in any business that wants to distribute products to the end customers.
So I'm going to give a little bit of our use case that we're trying to solve. So for example, you're an employee and you need help today in your organization. You typically have to go to a portal and you need to open a ticket, whether it is an ask or a question and answer, or you have a computer problem and you need a device, something that you need to request or access to a software you have. Our point of view is we want the service management, in this case, that particular service needs to come to the employee, and the employee doesn't need to go to the service, it needs to be IT. So today's IT typically dictates what employees need to do in order to get IT help. But the idea of Atomic Work is that we empower employees to self-serve themselves by having an agent where it is empowered by IT. So it means the service is actually coming to you wherever you are, whether it is Slack or Team or browser, right? So that way you can ask a question, or you say, I need help, and the ticket will open automatically for you, where an agent will take care of most of those works, and then we have a full service ITSM end-to-end, where agentic AI is taking care of all of the integrations, workflows, all the way to servicing at the end user front end. So that's one of the use cases that we're basically going in. That's why we have an advantage here for going into an age-old service management industry and then disrupt it, right? So coming back to you, one more question on the industry of drug and discovery. There's a lot of genetic-related discoveries happening where Google is, Gemini, and then other organizations are really going full frontal on AI research for drug discovery. What other use cases that you could think of that are actually now transforming or going to transform where we're heading? And then obviously, Dr. Ashwin also has some additional things that we could add on.
Yes, I can say it can have a major impact on cancer therapeutics. Drug discovery, as I understand most of you are into tech and engineering. So drug discovery, I can explain drug discovery. It takes $2.8 billion to develop a drug, and it takes 10 to 15 years to exactly understand the implications of a drug on humans. So the drug discovery using AI can accelerate this process using the DMTA cycle reduction. Every stage, the timeline gets reduced and the cost gets reduced. And that's how it will help. And especially in the cancer therapeutic area, I see that there can be more individual-specific therapeutics that can be, explored and accelerated, and they can come to market. And they can help patients in a faster way than the existing ones. And also there can be CNS therapeutic implications as well. So these are the two major therapeutic areas I see major development will be for our humans, and it will definitely benefit us.
That's great. So Dr. Ashwin, I know you're applied math, and then you're also adjunct professor and teaching at Stanford. But you also are AI author. You actually write some articles, and I'm a big fan of reading some of those, and really interesting. Can you tell us why reinforcement learning and in AI, and including DeepSeek, the advancements that are coming in, why and how that is going to change the way the whole next decade, as opposed to going after these large language models that are actually deployed on in unlimited resources, and that's why the cost of AI was so high, but as opposed to DeepSeek and then what it could actually done to where it needs to go.
Yeah, I'll answer this in two parts. I think what DeepSeek really did is to make AI cheaper, more accessible, more available to normal people like us, not just to big companies, but also increase the quality of AI. A lot of people don't realize DeepSeek did a lot of innovation. It was not just engineering, there was a lot of mathematical innovations that went in.
Yeah.
One of the big things they did was come up with new types of reinforcement learning algorithms. And then I'll answer the second part of your question, which is what is this reinforcement learning and why does it matter? This is what I do research and teaching on. Reinforcement learning is a methodology of AI which is inspired by how humans learn. If you look at a baby learns to walk. It's a trial and error process. The baby takes a certain step, it doesn't quite work, so the baby figures out this doesn't work, tries something else that works. So you reinforce the actions that are fetching you good rewards, and you deprioritize actions that are not giving you rewards. So it's a long process of learning. This is how humans, animals have learned throughout history. And so we have now taught machines to do that. So machines will keep trying new things, experimentation to figure out what works, what doesn't work. They've used it for language models. In my own research and teaching, I use it for financial applications. So reinforcement learning agents figure out how to do portfolio management for people like us, how to do retirement planning in the most optimal manner, even how to price and risk manage financial products. And lastly, I would say how to do algorithmic trading. These are agents that are independent. You give them agency, go to the job, solve this financial problem. And that's the exciting part because you don't need humans to really be active in the involvement of how to solve the problem along with machines. The machines has agency to do it on its own.
Exactly. I think kind of the reason why I teed up that one is that in our scenario, most organizations have say, hey, I already have the service management in this product, and then all of my knowledge is in documents, and some of that is already with IT, it's called a tribal knowledge. We say, okay, so wherever it is, we need to learn from it. In this case, whether you have a channel where you talk to your IT, or whether you talk to your HR, whether you talk to your finance on Slack or Teams, or you have all of these knowledge spread in the documents in your Notion or Microsoft ecosystem, doesn't matter whether it is Box or whatnot. And so in order to learn, the reinforcement thing comes in is that you just go and crawl and figure out what that information is, and then bring in and understand what context it is, and then define the reasoning. And so one of the things we do with our agents is typically you learn by doing things, and then learning whether the user says it helped them. And then the other thing is there is a verification that happens where the agents that are actually now helping the end users in the organization, instead of helping them, they're basically now curating the content that actually helps the agents. So that way you're not doing the repetitive tasks. So as humans basically are becoming more like monitors, moderators of the agents. And so that is the type of a job that is going to be really going to happen. I think this is a career institute, type of a thing we're talking about. In our experience, what we're seeing is that the jobs that are going to be created are going to be the enterprise moderation that happens within the organization. Your content that needs to be verified, validated, created, to train the agents that are going to come and help the others, just like all the drug discoveries and then even industry. Within your enterprise, that is also important. So last questions, predictions. So now that we're at 25, what's going to happen by 2030 in the drug discovery and drug world?
I would say we would have faster accelerated therapies and treatment options for patients, and definitely more career options for our interdisciplinary career opportunities for the incoming students and scientists. That's what
Sure.
Yeah, in my world, through AI infiltrating supply chain and efficient pricing, what you're going to find in about 5 years is that if you go to the remote parts of the world, you'll have products and services available in a manner that is inexpensive. You'll get it much faster and of higher quality. And that makes me very happy because a lot of people, as you know, in many parts of the world don't have access or it's too expensive. That's going to change, I think, by the end of this decade, 2030.
Excellent. So my prediction is today, an average enterprise, or even starting from a 500 employee organizations to 50,000 employee organization, number of SaaS applications is factorial of number of people that are in there. So if you have 1,000 SaaS applications, there will be 30,000 at least agents in your organization by the end of this decade. So you need to manage them. All right? That's the world we're going to be in. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Take your mic. Tushar? So Tulip Beauty, while we queue up the next round and the final round, the final panel is about career pivots, career pivots with AI, infrastructure, LLMs, and agents. We have Dr. Raj.
I will get it in the middle.
Thank you. But this has been a busy man. He's the Chief Technology Officer of Juniper. We know how Juniper has been in the headlines for. That's not for Juniper. You'll get yours in a minute. So Juniper's been in the headlines as the Chief Technology Officer. He's been leading AI transformation. He's been architecting solutions that span from Gen AI adoption to AI optimized network infrastructure. So fun stuff that you've been working on. Welcome. Take this mic, please. Thank you. We have Shakar Quadra. Shakar, excellent. Come on up. I'm taking a good look at you because he is heavily branded as the world's youngest master inventor. 500 plus patents. Holy cow! What an amazing! How many a year on average since you started collecting patents?
I think I did that in a span of 6 years. So.
Holy goodness gracious! Well, right here, this is what the face of innovation looks like. So Shakar has just moved into OpenAI from IBM and then AWS. So you've been there about a month or two, I think.
3 months.
3 months at OpenAI. So you just now figured out, which hallway gets you where. So congratulations and welcome to, the big things that you're going to deliver. Wonderful. And then Rama. There she is. So Rama is one of my darlings of this panel. She doesn't know me, but she did a TED Talk in Vienna a few months ago at TEDAI, and so that's pretty impressive. That's very impressive. And she's also the vice president of AI and ML for IT at NVIDIA. So you guys have heard of them, right? Yeah, right. So good. So I can't wait to hear what Rama has to say. She also, I don't know if they work together, but Rama was on some of the original Watson teams.
All three of them have been at IBM at one point or the other. And also Rama was the ASEI Engineer of the Year awardee in AI in 2023.
Oh, thank you. I had that written down and did not get to it. So 2023 Engineer of the Year for ASEI. That's a tall thing to accomplish. So congratulations. Yeah. So we'll get everyone mics. And this is our last 15 minutes, guys. We're on the countdown. Not that I'm trying to rush y'all, but we are. Have fun.
Yeah, so I think it's really a privilege because you guys represent two companies that are really changing our. Microphone. Oh. The two companies are representing and changing our world, right? So I'm going to start. I want to make it interactive. So I'm going to ask the audience to also jump in and ask questions. By the way, so I want to start with you, Rama. Everybody's talking about AI agents. Tell us how that's going to change how we work in companies.
Yeah, the advantage of going last is a lot of things have already been said. I think Arvind said it very well. He talked about a lot of use cases. So if you look at companies, I can talk about the work that I do and talk through some of the things that we are doing and give you those examples. Take employee productivity. You work at a company and what are the things that make you productive? You want to be able to get access to the information that you're looking for faster and be productive. and you want to be able to code, do your coding job, programming faster. Then as an IT SRE, the site reliability engineer, you want to make sure that as soon as there is a problem, those incidents are quickly detected, diagnosed, and resolved, and you do the right thing so that you prevent those incidents from happening. And if you are a salesperson, you are looking for preparing for your customer meetings better, and when you write your customer meeting reports and such, you want to be able to aggregate all of that and derive insights from it. And if you're a finance person, you want to be able to do your competitive analysis, maybe about, and ask also some questions about how the company is doing, how different sectors of the business are working, and so on. So take each one of the business functions within a company, whether it's IT, sales, marketing, supply chain. We're a chip design company. We have large operations of procuring chips from contract manufacturers and large supply chain. So planning all of those things takes many weeks actually right now, and we are applying AI to do all our planning cycles, going from 4 to 5 hours of what-if scenario analysis to under 5 minutes, and that right there is productivity for supply chain planners. So look at employee productivity or IT or sales, marketing, HR. All of the business functions are up for transformation, and coding for engineers. That's what we are starting to do as well, and as many speakers have already spoken about, we are already starting to see a lot of productivity gains. I think the one that's most taking advantage of this is code assistance in the industry.
Copilot.
Yeah, with copilots. But we'll start to see many of the more other business functions also take advantage of this and gain the productivity.
Well, if you are entering the workforce, what should you train yourself for to prepare for this one? Well, you're going to have AI agents which are supposed to assist you, but you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, in the next few years, actually, I don't see any big change in the number of engineers that are needed for the industry, because the technology has created so much opportunity that we need many more engineers to join the workforce to build the right kind of tools and solutions to take advantage of the opportunity at hand here. So I foresee actually it creates more jobs in the near future. And yeah, there may be some disruption to certain roles, and the workforce has to be retrained to be ready to use the technology and to be more productive. But the next few years is going to be exciting because we are only really scratching the surface, and there is so much to do, so much to take advantage of, and so many new applications and platforms need to be built, so many new agents need to be built to improve the productivity of pretty much every business function role that you can think of, and we need more engineers to make that happen.
Just to quickly add to that, like for example, an entry-level data scientist now does not require only traditional ML skills. Now generative AI needs to be embedded into the veins of every single person out there. It doesn't need to be just a hands-on engineer, it needs to be a hardware, software, coder, as you said, into developer productivity. How many of you use VS Code or Cursor? Anyone? Okay, we see a bunch, right?
I was about to ask you that question, right? Especially OpenAI products, apart from coding, that everybody learns in graduate school, what other skills and core competencies they must develop to take advantage of it?
I think a big aspect is interdisciplinary skills. One of the speakers did mention that just having core software skills or core hardware skills is one aspect. The other important thing is going into an interdisciplinary domain like healthcare, legal, be it retail. A lot of these companies are enveloped with using these data scientists or using the non-coding engineers to think with a critical mindset. So critical thinking, strategic decision making, having the ability to focus beyond just leveraging their old traditional methodologies and being agile, fail quickly. You have now the ability to actually fail quickly, right? Because we are in a world where something that used to take maybe 6 weeks to do a POC, building, let's say, a full stack application, it can take me or her sitting on a weekend, and then in 48 hours we would be able to build something. Why? Because of generative AI tooling. So you have more developer productivity. Outside of that, content marketing campaigns, legal assistant, even if you are an attorney, you can use a legal assistant. If you are a financial advisor, you can use those conversation assistants to help you in your day-to-day tasks.
I have an example I want to give students, right? In my role, I don't necessarily write code, but the other day somebody gave me PRD and I put it into Claude and it generated Figma design for me. So you don't need to do UX. This is a starting point. I'm not a UX designer, but I could go and show a UX designer what the UX design could look like. So I think there are lots of opportunities. Any questions? Go ahead. You need one mic to pass on.
I don't think so.
You have this one.
Okay, guys, we're running way late on time, so you're it.
So now everyone has access to these, LLMs. It could be Claude, it could be OpenAI. With such easy access, now the barrier for entry is very low. So how would companies really differentiate their products? It's no longer about the foundational things anymore, right?
Rama,
the fundamentals of problem solving haven't changed. Any product out there will be a success if it is able to solve a real problem for somebody, right? And that's what the market product fit is. You can use whatever tools behind the scenes, and if LLMs are making that happen, that's great. But that experience of solving a problem, making somebody productive and solving the problem for them in the easiest way possible is good product design, and none of those fundamentals have changed as such, right? So behind the scenes, use LLMs, use whatever helps to get there faster. So those companies that are able to really understand, and Muthu was also making the point that go vertical, go really very specific to specific problems that you want to solve in a particular industry for a particular persona, and make it as easy as possible for them to do their work, and that's how you differentiate.
You have to pass the mic around.
Oh, yeah, okay. So this will be the last question then.
Comment first, yeah. Don't talk about making money though.
So Rama, question for you. What exactly changed at NVIDIA after DeepSeek? Is there something you want to
No.
Let's pass that question.
Everyone committed to the guy back here.
I don't know, put you there.
I think the thing is that we provide inference optimized LLM models of all kinds, the public ones. So if you take Llama models that are publicly available on Hugging Face are also available through NVIDIA, but they are inference optimized, right? That is where NVIDIA's differentiation is. Whenever there is an open access model or an open source model, there is a faster version that's available that's GPU optimized. And the same goes for DeepSeek. We've released a DeepSeek version internally and we are testing that. So the story is about acceleration, compute acceleration, and inference optimization for all of the LLM models. And that will continue to be the case with all open access, open source models.
Yeah.
Whoa, no. Hey, I have the mic, and you're gonna need to ask your question during the networking break, because I can go after it.
Okay.
No, we're out of time. So we've got one more question that I committed to.
Okay.
And then people can ask questions during the networking break.
Yes. We have to leave this building by 5:30. Remember that, the doors get locked out. So we have to eat food as well, so please.
If I had known that, as a moderator, I need to have some control over the questions. I have to ask this to people.
Okay, so a very direct question, quick question for you. Raj, along with this LLM and everything which is going on, the whole quantum space is also coming up. Your views, how they are going to diverge or converge? What's your views on that?
That's a very good question. I think the quantum communications, quantum computing that we look at, only recently, in the last 3 months, we are beginning to see research that's trying to bring generative AI to that, right? Because one of the things about quantum computing is all probabilistic. It's not deterministic. So I think the AI has a role to play there that we can look at.
There's a paper on quantum GANs that I can share with you. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. You want to talk about that? Just comment on it? Shikhar, I'm asking. You're sure.
I feel like eventually it's going to converge. Like the way at which LLMs are proliferating and how profoundly we are neck deep into evolving this technology. The next 10, 15, 20 years is going to be a convergence of a lot of these technologies, including quantum with generative AI and cellular networks.
Raj, did you say you had a wrap-up question?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah. So the last thing that we discussed today is a question of ethics. and a lot of ethical implications of Gen AI we have been discussing from student point of view, how they should prepare themselves in terms of handling these ethical issues, which are related to job disruption or number of other things. Do you want to comment on each one of you?
Sure. I think in terms of ethics in AI, there needs to be a crucial focus on safety, alignment. There are a lot of AI research teams, I'm sure, in OpenAI and outside as well, where there's a lot of focus on how to eliminate prompt injection attacks. For example, I'll just share a particular example. In 2022, with the inception of ChatGPT, somebody asked a very critical, controversial question that I want to hack into the system, or I'm committing a suicide. And back in the days, it would give a straightforward answer, right? Or sometimes, if it would neglect the answer, the user would ask in a slightly different manner, in a hex encoded manner. They would ask in a hex manner that, okay, try to solve this question for me, decouple that and find the answer, right? Decode that answer. The question was the same. Eventually, ChatGPT ended up, or any other bot ended up giving that answer, any other conversational assistant. So I think a lot of focus as the prompt injection attacks become increasingly complex in nature. We also need to emphasize a lot on AI safety, ethics, and when I sort of talk about just ethics and safety, we need to go into fairness in AI, explainability behind those models, and we need to go into LLM ops frameworks. Like back in 2020, I think we were talking purely about ML ops, which of course had ML governance, transparency in ML. Now we need to talk about LLM governance, LLM transparency, safety, alignment, all the measures that we can take.
Thank you.
Well said. I would just add to that by saying there are, as we build applications using LLMs, it's vitally important that we build the right kind of guardrails. So some examples, if you build a chatbot, make sure that you are providing citations that go with it. Simple example, right? That provides transparency, and if you don't trust the answer, at least you can go click the links and see whether that's something that you want to believe or not. And if you produce a plan with an agent, then provide the explanation that goes with it as to what sources it used and why it came up with that plan and what alternatives it considered and so on. So these are some things that are simple things that you can do as you build applications. And guardrails, I'll give a specific example. These LLMs are so powerful, and as you build applications with these, you run the risk of a lot of things with regards to exposing your overly shared sensitive documents within your company, say for example. So use LLMs themselves to build classification models or to build sensitive document identification kinds of models, to detect those types of things and to guardrail. Before you send that to final answer generation or summarization, you can guardrail. So you can recursively use LLMs to solve the problems that they pose themselves. But overall, safety, alignment, guardrailing, and plan explainability, and all of these things are, and reducing the hallucination rate and measuring them very diligently from iteration to iteration as you go through the cycles of development and into production will get us, and also always have the right kind of thresholds for before you make it to production, whether it meets your accuracy standards and hallucination rates and all of that or not.
Thank you. Thank you all. Let's join me. Thank you.
So we're going to step aside and do Philip. We've got just 2 more minutes actually to celebrate ASEI in Silicon Valley with Niharika.
Niharika is good.
Okay.
I've got it.
So we're going to have just 2 minutes with Niharika Shrestha and Rakesh Viliani, who's the CEO of Park Computers. Niharika is an ASEI board member. She's been key to making everything happen today. She's also the president of Drishti. That's how we actually met, along with Javier at a panel 6 or 8 months ago. So as soon as the photo op clears out of the way, we will have Niharika and Rakesh. Niharika, it's 2 minutes, and I'm going to close out with things.
Sure.
Now, why is the cake coming out now?
Yeah, so it's just here because the candle is there.
Okay.
So thank you everyone. It was an amazing afternoon, and we grasped, absorbed so much information, but we want more. That is very rare. So thank you everyone. I would like to thank UC Santa Cruz staff. They are incredible staff. UC and you.
And I would like to invite all the board members over here. Earlier, Surbi, Divya, Tushar, please come over here. Surbi, Piyush.
All the board members, please come. Sylvie, all the board members.
Raj.
We're celebrating our 10 years of ACI Silicon Valley chapter.
Divya. Tushar is here.
Surbi.
Okay. All right. Their session.
Sorry. I think everybody is busy making money with Amma.
Yeah, I know. We get some stock tips from it.
And all the volunteers who have put in a lot of efforts.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Good job, guys. Yeah. Want all the volunteers?
All the volunteers, please join us. All the volunteers.
Current and future.
Garima, Vishwajit.
Okay, I would like to say current and future board members. So
And
all the
current
volunteers
and
out there
future
are
board
future board members. And anyone else who would like to volunteer, it's a volunteer-driven organization. Nobody gets paid here, and that's where we work together.
That's the problem. You got to make them how to make money.
That's when we will come to you for coaching. All right.
This is after you make money.
All right. Okay. All right. You can cut the cake. The ladies. If you multiply by 5, it will be a birthday cake. All right, guys.
The next 15 seconds. Y'all get it together.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, ASEI. All right.
So guys, the next 30 minutes are, in my opinion, the most important 30 minutes of this afternoon. Because now you get to talk. You get to talk to each other. You get to figure out who can help you advance and who can help the world advance. Please optimize this 30 minutes. We do have to exit the building at 5:30. And one last plug for the ASEI team. I don't know if you all heard it, but Piyush mentioned this is a completely volunteer organization. They all pay or bring sponsors in order to put this content together for you. So be sure to give them a personal thank you when you see them at the networking event. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Yeah, so while we have the photographers here, we would like Sonia, our wonderful MC, to please come here. And Sohan, could you give the flowers to Sonia? And we would also like Claudia to be here. Claudia, please be here. Do we have people taking pictures? And yeah, to Claudia and your amazing team. You know, this UC Santa Cruz, you've done great. We want you here. We have flowers for you. You and your team. Please, everyone, come here.
Claudia.
Yeah, please come in. Can we get some more flowers? Can we get some flowers? Yeah, so
Thank you, Claudia, for all the support. We couldn't give you some speech while you were here, but
we want you in the picture. Come on. Yes, we have Jim. Please, Garima. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Justin, and everyone else. Amazing. Thank you.
Keep saying that. Instead of picking it out. ये दो बार मैंने आपको किया है I'm not putting more work on you.
Yeah, of course. I love to see you.
Yeah, okay.
The original Microsoft team negotiated.
How are you associated with the
I wanted to look history. Me too, me too. Mine is the one that gets. We're gonna make
भैया बड़ी स्टाइल मारने वाले कॉर्नर में बताऊँ मैंने तो कब से हाथ उठाया स्टाइल मारने वाले अभी बड़ा I know the other side but when the other side is leading it's always a loss again. I know the softness but how can I express it?
The board or you? Yeah, I'm going to the board. Yeah, so I was talking different person. Probably my twin. Probably my twin. I'm not sure if it's only right now. I'm afraid of higher education. I'm afraid of higher education. Not after. They are investing in AI. I'm not sure how to prepare myself. I don't think I can manage that. I wanted to prepare with any advice they give me or also advice I don't know exactly how to figure